Hey now, you're a monster. Don't sue us. Yeah. California should just be underwater.
Fuck Ariel.
Men Fender's Men Symbol. So long.
Hey there, it's the Machine of Nonsense, episode 185, and it's day 2 of the Nonsense of the Year Awards 2024. Day 1 found us making a long list of video games, TV shows, and movies that we will be spoiling as part of day 2 today. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Kayla.
Hello.
And we've got the whole crew. Tomas is here.
Hey, I'm feeling like shit, but I'm here, baby.
Yeah,
Let's go.
he is. Ryan's here.
Beetlejuice.
Yep, that's what they say.
Here twice.
Mike is here.
Hey, I'm here. House full of kids. We're doing this.
Hell yeah.
And D is here. But he's on mute.
He's muted. There he is.
I was muted.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's how we're starting off day 2 of the
Very
Nonsense of the Year Awards 2024. In day 1, we created the long list, and we decided that day 2 will consist of best character, best moment, sequence, or episode, and most disappointing. We are ending on most disappointing on day 2. That's how we do this year, everyone. This is the 4th time we've done this, the 4th annual Nonsense of the Year Awards. So that's cool. That's really great. Thank you for joining us for the previous 3. And if you haven't, thank you for joining us for the first time ever. If you didn't check out episode 1, day 1 of the Nonsense of the Year Awards, we're going to recap the long list of video games, TV shows, and movies. Starting with the video games, I'm going to start off, and then Kayla, if you could hit the TV shows, that would be great. Okay.
Heard.
The video games that we will be talking about in one capacity or another. Full spoilers for anything on this list. Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Crow Country, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Guild Wars 2 Janthier Wilds, Helldivers 2, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Kinitsugami Path of the Goddess, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Marvel Rivals, Metaphor Re Fantasio, Neva, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, Pepper Grinder, Persona 3 Reload, Pokemon TCG Pocket, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, Silent Hill 2, Squirrel with a Gun, Tekken 8, Thank Goodness You're Here, and The Legend of Zelda. Echoes of Wisdom are the video games this year nominated for the NOTYs. Kayla, take away TV shows, please.
For TV shows, we have Abbott Elementary Season 3, Agatha All Along, Arcane Series Finale, Bridgerton Season 3, Dan to Dan, Dead Boy Detectives, Delicious in Dungeon, Fallout, Go-Go Loser Ranger, House of the Dragon Season 2, Invincible Season 2, Kaiju number 8, Chaos, Last Week, Tonight with John Oliver, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, One Piece Fan Letter, Only Murders in the Building Season 4, Ranma half, one and a half,
One half.
one half, Ranma one half, Ring of Power Season 2, Say Nothing, Shogun, Shrinking Season 2, Somebody Somewhere Season 3, Star Wars The Acolyte, the 10th Annual Game Awards, The Bear Season 3, The Boys Season 4, The Penguin, What We Do in the Shadows series finale, and X-Men 97.
Wonderful. And last, but certainly not least, the movies that are nominated this year are A Quiet Place Day One, Alien, Romulus, Anora, Beetlejuice, Borderlands, Challengers, Civil War, Deadpool and Wolverine, Don't Move, Dune 2, Furiosa, Heretic, Hitman, I Saw the TV Glow, Inside Out 2, Jackpot, Joker, Folie et Deux, I love saying that, Lisa Frankenstein, Longlegs, Love Lies Bleeding, Madame Web, Nosferatu, Piece by Piece, Saturday Night, Speak No Evil, Strange Darling, The Substance, The Watchers, The Wild Robot, Transformers 1, Trap, Twisters, Ultraman Rising, and We Live in Time. So, anything we listed here could be spoiled today. We are doing the categories of best character, best moment, and most disappointing. We may not talk about all these things, but we could. So if you haven't checked these out, sorry if we spoil anything from them. Also, this is going to be both an audio and a video episode. Probably best to watch the video on YouTube. If you prefer audio, not to see our smiling faces, perfectly fine. It'll be on all of your podcast apps as well. I love the smiles. But yeah, check out the video, guys. Let's bring up my next little thing here, and let's change out the... Okay, we're doing all kinds of things here, folks. Someone vamp for me.
Man, I had one movie that I don't think is on the list that I don't know if we should add it or I don't know.
Ooh.
That popped. Made
Run
my
it, bud.
Do it. Let's add it. What is it?
We'll do
Ricky
it live.
Stenicki.
Ricky Stenicki.
Ricky
Oh, wow.
John Cena led.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I'm
Amadeus.
familiar with that one. Ricky Stenicki? You said?
I do remember.
Okay. All right.
One of those Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's
deals.
one of those one of those weird comedies. You watch the whole thing, eh, Mike?
That's where John Cena shines.
I have seen that film, and there's
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you
maybe
watch
it was
the whole
good,
thing,
maybe it
though,
was
right?
bad, you know.
You watched the
Come
entire
again?
thing, is what I'm asking.
One of the Farley brothers directed it, apparently.
I am only worried about
wait,
a
never-
certain part of the film.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't exactly remember the ending, but I do remember the part I like.
That is a ringing endorsement by Mike. I love it.
Oh, it isn't
okay.
a great film.
Well-
It is not a great film.
It was pretty good.
Oh,
good.
does anyone
Oh,
want to
boy.
go first? With best
yeah.
character.
I'll
Oh
go.
my god.
Okay, I
Ooh.
love it.
Real easy one.
Do it.
All right. The Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yee. Nice.
Ooh, Wolverine.
Ooh.
Very nice. The Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine. Hugh Jackman plays him, I believe. I think that's who plays the Wolverine.
Not to be confused.
Senior citizen, Hugh Jackman.
How about
Seniors.
is that it? Is that your only best character? Right?
Oh, I got more. I know we're
what's your-
going back
what's
and forth.
your- what's your list?
Okay.
What's your top- top
Yeah.
five?
He does his whole
Sauron.
list?
Sauron from
I mean, we
Rings
can
of.
do it round robin.
Yeah,
do
top
we
five,
want to
right?
do it round robin? We've done it
Yeah,
in
like
the
round
past.
robin,
We've
top
done
five?
it like
Everyone does their
everyone
five.
does their five, but I'm fine.
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Anatar / Sauron from the Rings of Power.
I probably spelled that wrong.
It's you're close. Two ends.
Anatar.
Anatar, yeah.
Okay.
That's I don't like how that's spelled. I don't like that.
You can just ROP would probably be easier just for your longevity.
Rop.
Aerith Gainsborough from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
What a lady.
Just D from Go Go Loser Ranger.
Is that just a D?
Just a letter D. You could say Fighter D. But and my last one
Initial D.
collapsed with a couple people. Todora Mariko from Shogun.
Hell yeah, Lady Mariko. Hell yeah.
There you go.
Mariko.
Love her.
That's my top 5 best characters of the year.
Hell yeah.
I will say that at least one of these is on my list as well. We'll get into that. Do you want to speak on any of them? I mean, once we get into the debates, you can speak on them further. But
yeah, when we get into the debates, I'll speak on it further.
Okay,
for sure.
Okay. I'll go next. How about I go next here? So my mine are in order. I don't know if yours were in order, Ryan. By any chance? No. Any particular order? Mine are in, I would say, quality order for myself.
Good man.
So my first one, bottom up. I'm gonna go 5-1 here. Gary Johnson from Hitman, played by Glenn Powell. Just a really cool. I don't think we talked a ton about Hitman on the pod, but my guy Gary was. It was the first time that I got it with Glenn Powell, I would say. Like, okay, this dude's like an actual.
He's got it.
He's got it. Yeah, this guy's charming. He's funny. He's good looking.
Riz.
He's a lot of fun. I think Gary's great. My number 4 is Longlegs, played by Nicolas Cage from the movie Longlegs. You've heard Mike do the perfect impression of Longlegs. Longlegs.
Long limbs Lenore.
What can you say? This is like, I think right after I saw this movie, I had text Mike and said that this was the role that like Nicolas Cage, at least latter day Nicolas Cage, was just like made for. It's perfect. He's getting to do like his ridiculous camp. He's scary. He's like weird. And you know, in a for me an uneven movie, but just one of the standouts. Just amazing. Longlegs. Number 3 for me is Oz Cobb from The Penguin. Somehow they made played by Colin Farrell. Somehow they made that character interesting. I don't know. Like he was already okay in the Batman.
What are you showing me here? Come on.
I think this is one of the best performances all year. The transformation into this weird, grotesque being is amazing by Colin Farrell, and where he ends up, like the final act of The Penguin, kind of cements him. It feels like a lot of the show is, it's an anti-hero type story. Like, he's kind of a hero, kind of a villain. And no, he's just a villain. He's just a piece of shit. And I love how we end up on Oz Cobb in The Penguin this year. Number 2 for me is Mr. Reed from Heretic, as played by Hugh Grant. The latter day Hugh Grant is something to behold. Everything he's done in the last like 10 years, he just does not give a fuck anymore. He's completely like shifted away from that quirky romantic comedy English guy that he was kind of typecast.
But has he? He's like a fucking Oompa Loompa.
He just does whatever he wants now,
A
and
He just does
grumpy
whatever he
Oompa Loompa.
wants.
A very grumpy.
and he's great in Heretic as this like skeptic / like aggressive anti-religious figure. Just one of my favorite some of my favorite scenes of this year. Just one of my favorite performances. It's in the trailer, but he does this thing where he like sucks on his teeth several times. He does his like eek face. And it's just perfect. It's the best. So go see Heretic, everyone. Mr. Reed is so good. And actually, my number one is a bolding of Lady Mariko. Mariko, because she was my favorite character this year. Played by Anna Sawai in Shogun. Just a phenomenal performance in a couple different languages, and just I don't know. I think we'll be talking about Shogun more throughout the Nonsense of the Year awards, but all the awards and nominations that Anna Sawai got are completely deserved, because Mariko was just I don't know, just one of the coolest characters ever.
Very strong.
Amazing. The strongest character. Oftentimes doing very little in terms of like she does some fighting, which is cool, but really it's all with words, with language, with like her face, with everything. Like just a phenomenal performance this year, Lady Mariko. Shogun. That's my list.
Good five.
Hell yeah.
Should I go next?
Why not?
Sure.
All right. Characters.
Best.
I will also do my ranked characters. Starting with number 5. I have Dementis from Furiosa. Chris Hemsworth.
Nice.
Just a fun time. You gotta have a little fun on your list here. I have number 4, the Ghoul from Fallout. This is one of those, like how Eric was saying with Colin Farrell and Oswald Cobb. Part of it is like how good the actor is that makes this like the Ghoul is a character in a video game that is not really that meaningful, but they obviously give it a lot of meaning. So the Ghoul. Number 3, you can go ahead and bold Mr. Reed. I also found it very an interesting character for Hugh Grant to play. Number 2, I have Sophia Falcone, also from The Penguin, but Sophia Falcone, partially because her clothes are fucking dripping.
Ooh. Christina Milioti, right?
Ooh, yeah, right? Fun. She's a good time.
The mother of How I Met Your Mother.
And
we
my
didn't mention
number
that in the spoiler warning.
My number 1 favorite character is Dolores Price from Say Nothing.
Oh.
A real human.
Wow.
I think it's ROUS.
You're right. Because it's Dolores, right? It's
Dolores.
It's right. How do you spell it?
ROUS.
That's That's not right, but that's fine. The spelling doesn't matter. We'll get the spelling in post here. Yeah. We'll be talking more about Dollar's Price later, I think.
DOLLOURS.
URS.
Yeah, just too many.
DOLOURS.
Mhm.
Dolores Price. Yes, got it.
Dolores.
Much Dolores.
All right.
Irish.
Who's
That means
next?
pain in Spanish.
I'll go next. Right. My number 5 is Tauros from Anora, played by Gillian.
Mm.
Sorry if I'm butchering his real name.
Thought you were talking about
Just
Pokemon.
Karen has been in all of Sean Baker's movies, all 4, I believe. This is probably my favorite character that he's played in them. So the title character Nora is a stripper who kind of makes a deal with this Russian billionaire son who's just kind of disobeying his parents and decides to marry this girl, Honora. And once the family becomes aware of this, they call Tauros, who is like a family priest / fixer kind of guy. He is literally in the middle of a baptism when he gets the call to retrieve the son, and just comedy kind of ensues in there. They get a hold of a Nora, but the son runs off and leaves her there. So it's kind of Tauros and his lackeys and Honora trying to find this young man throughout New York, and parking in the wrong spots, and evading tow trucks and things like that, and destroying candy shops, and busting into strip clubs throughout Manhattan or wherever the fuck they are, and really funny stuff throughout that performance. My number 4 is Jackie from Love Lies Bleeding, played by Katie M. O'Brien.
So good.
Just a real visceral, beautiful, strong, really trying to break the idea of what is beauty. She is like a very muscular. She is in a bodybuilding competition in this movie. She's trying to get to like Mrs. Galaxy or whatever, the top competition is. And
All she wants in life. That's just her goal.
Yes.
Just trying to get to her tournament, man.
Right. And then she gets mixed up with like Dave Franco's character in Ed Harris, and she's really on this list mostly because she brutally murders Dave Franco, which I was all for, because he is like a skeevy like piece of shit for sure in this film, and she just
love you, Dave Franco.
She like the Mountain versus the Viper, this guy basically, and very good stuff there. Selena and I, for a while after we saw this, would mimic her like routine and stuff, like all of her poses and stuff like that. We really got a kick out of that performance for sure. So I had to give it up for Katie. My number 3 is Elizabeth Sparkle, specifically Demi Moore's Elizabeth Sparkle from The Substance. Another kind of similar to Jackie, another character like obsessed with beauty and trying to hold on to it. She is an middle-aged woman who has like a Jane Fonda-esque aerobics program, is going to get canceled, just for the next new young thing, and she decides to take this wonder drug that will reverse that process, or so she thinks. Did anyone else see The Substance this year yet?
No, but it will be discussed in one of my future categories.
Okay. Well, anyway, Demi Moore, just the transformation that her character goes through after this, and the way that she's all in on it and doesn't care. Like, she at one point she is like the witch from The Witch. Like, she is like a goblin compared to what she was at one point, and the amount of prosthetics and things, and she's literally like dragging bodies down the hallway as like a hunchbacked, crazy looking creature. She's walking like she has to bundle up at one point with big glasses and scarves all around her, trying to get, more of the substance. She has to go to a certain drop point to get it. And man, just hats off to Demi for not like, she's never done anything like, I know like in G.I. Jane there's some pretty intense kind of scenes and things that I'm sure she had to push and work hard to get through, but I don't know, to be just kind of a woman of her age and a woman who's always known for her beauty, and to go the complete 180 on it and to show this side is I think needs to be commended.
Hell yeah. Elizabeth Sparkle.
Yes. My number 2 is Mr. Reed from Heretic.
Locked.
That's bold and italicized.
Yeah, the ultimate debate me bro is Mr. Reed. Man, just from the get-go, he just has a power over these two young ladies. He just has the upper hand at all times. And I don't know, just he's such an odd guy. He creates this whole, he's a person who is obsessed with theology and is incredibly intelligent, but kind of is driven mad by the quest of disproving God in a way, where he's kind of, I don't know, high on his own supply.
Oh yeah.
Towards the back third, I think. But man, just a really cool performance, real creepy, and loved it all the way. My next is to round out all my 5 movie characters that I have here.
Damn.
Is the most recent one added for me is Count Orlok from Nosferatu, played by Bill Skarsgård. Completely different than like what he's doing like in Barbarian or It or any other spooky stuff that he's done. Unrecognizable. I don't think you would know it's him at all if you didn't know. And he's doing like he's doing a weird accent, like this and talking,
He's
like
Nandor.
a Hungarian.
He's 100% Nandor.
Yeah, I don't think we don't have enough time to get. But it's just the way the character is used throughout, just the shadows of everything, and just rewatching clips and things and noticing, oh wow, his whole silhouette is there and he's everywhere throughout the whole movie. And
what a good movie.
He's just like the best part of a movie, all about just that whole vibe and look and everything. And I don't know, his whole like final like kind of not like it's almost like a monologue, but Lily Rose Depp is there, and just him, like just the way he explains things. And Eric brought up after we saw it how he calls himself just an appetite at this point in his life. And that's all he is. He's just like a thing that wants to feed, and that's all that matters to him at this point. And the scene where he's like, it's basically the whole movie is a real estate deal, basically, between he and Nicholas Hoult. And that scene's really great, and how the camera shows him kind of how powerful he is, almost like how he can just like kind of shift where his position in the room at an instant and things like that. And really cool. Really, it's his whole thing has stuck with me a lot since I saw that.
I concur.
Hell yeah. That's a good one. D or Tomas, whomever.
I'll go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how much longer I can handle not throwing up. So
Do it.
Nah. All right. I gotta throw some Rifantasio love on here.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm going with the G, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Luis Guiban.
How the hell
he's
do
the
you
ma-
spell that?
Louis. And good luck on the last name. I can look it
Just
up for
go
you.
metaphor. You know, we're good.
Yeah, just put
Yeah.
metaphor.
I'll
Just
put it in the chat.
G.
I'll put it in chat. I got it. I got you.
This dude just eats up scenes this whole entire game. Voice actor, fucking bravo. He's the bad guy of the game, but like he's risked up to all hell. He makes some good points too. Like it. There you go, E. Nice. But yeah, man, he's fucking like. I really enjoyed this game, so I mean, it's fucking nuts. But yeah, man, he was just such a good bad guy. Like he played everything so fucking fast and loose too. Like he fucking spoilers everywhere, but yeah, he's like fucking game starts, he fucking kills the king. He's like, yeah, man, it's like fucking falling short on your ideals, whatever. I stabbed you, and then like when they like fucking call it out, he's like, yeah, I did it. So what? He's like, fuck it, this country's in shambles. I'm gonna do something to fix it. Power rules absolutely. And he's like, fucking, it's like, follow me. And like, so like, you're the prince in the game and you're trying to unite people through, rhetoric and ideologies and making a better world. And he's like, everyone can follow me, but the strong survive. So he's like kind of going with the counterpoint. But like, just the character is fucking incredible. Like, he's always like flexing whenever he's in a scene. Really enjoyed me some Luis playing through this game, but yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I guess my next one, I didn't put these in any particular order, so but I put Laszlo, Matthew Berry. I think this morning alone, Jackie and I said, might I interest you in a succulent Chinese meal at least like 50 times at breakfast? God, it's like just to see a show come to the end, and he was my favorite character front to back, so just wanted to give my boy Matt Berry some love.
Hell yeah.
Big time.
2-time nominee maybe in this,
Ooh. Yeah.
He's also in Thank Goodness You're Here.
Nice. The next one is one probably from a show that I only watched. So, the main character from Somebody Somewhere, her name is Sam, and she is just a person, and she is going through it, and she is going through all the emotions. Like third season, like it seems like everything's resolved with like everybody from like season 2. Like her dad died in season 2. Her sister got divorced, her friend found love, and everybody's like at a point where they're like moving on, but she's like stuck. She's like, everything was going so good, but now everybody else around me is living their lives differently, not in tune with me. And she's just going through it. And she's, she just learns how to love herself through the process. She is enough, but I can relate a lot to like the inner monologue and the thoughts of like, everyone else around me is like living their lives. Do they not see me anymore? Am I not, shit like that. So very well done. I love the show in itself. It's just such a good slice of life like show. Yeah, but that's one.
What was it called?
Somebody Somewhere.
Somebody Somewhere.
Yeah, and it's like that's kind of like a play on. She was like a really good singer, like in her hometown when she was younger, and she left for reasons, and then she comes back. That's. But yeah. Yes. Jackie was asking if I was talking about that shit. Next one I'm gonna go is Beetlejuice. or Beetlejuice.
Nice.
I don't know. It was like just I saw that movie and like I didn't expect that I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, and it's probably like the only movie I saw this year. And I thought, Beetlejuice was just doing his thing, and there's like a moment in there, so I'm not going to like spoil it now. So yeah.
Michael Keaton just going ham.
Going
Let
ham,
him
baby.
loose. The juice is loose.
The
The
juice.
juice is loose.
Juice is loose.
We weren't supposed to say the moment, guys.
Oh, when he gets loose, fuck.
Yeah, he gets real loose.
When it gets so loose.
And then the last one, I'm just gonna. I was kind of going back and forth to this, so I knew that like Deadpool and Wolverine was gonna come in, and like Channing Tatum, he played Gambit, and then we got X-Men '97. I just felt like it was a good year for Gambit in general.
I like that.
Shit.
Yeah, my boy got some long
Was it?
deserved
Overdue. Overdue
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
That's a good.
So.
That's a good smuggle there. I think I'm putting Deadpool and Wolverine / X-Men '97. That's a good one. It's a good one.
Raging Cajun, baby. It's always been my dude.
That's good. I like that. Good stuff. D. Last but not least.
All right. Great list, everybody. So good. Toiling over here because I was seeing some stuff and then remembering things. I'll start with the one I remembered that I didn't actually mention in episode 1, so I just wanted to talk about it. And it's Alistair from Has Been Hotel.
Mm.
I'll allow it.
I love a good mysterious character that's just he's got machinations. He's doing stuff in the background. And the voice actor just nailed the charisma, the creepy charisma of this character is what I often quote at home to the children, especially when they're misbehaving.
Great character design too.
Yeah, it's so good. He's just so good.
That show's got really good character design.
Yeah, it's just very great for my eye holes. I really enjoyed that. So moving on, I don't want to speak too much on that. I'm gonna do Magneto from X-Men '97.
Wag Needus.
Start to finish, that the moment he's on screen to the last moment, in the season finale, just they took him places that I didn't think they were gonna do, that they were gonna attempt to do, and that just really reaffirmed why it was so impactful in the original, why they always latch onto him in the live action adaptions, and it's just he really is kind of that keystone for X-Men as well. Outside of the obvious ones. I just want more. I just want more. I just want more.
But that costume. Ugh.
Still Magneto, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, again, going with the House of M costume was a choice. I know
jacket from the TGAs.
I know.
real bad.
I know certain people in the audience have certain tastes that differ from mine, so I'll leave it at that. Then I'll do. This one is actually from one I've rewatched this movie quite a few times. It's from Ultraman Rising, and it's Ken Sato, the titular Ultraman that is Rising. He just has what I think is the call to action. That happens off screen, and we get to see him struggling at the beginning of the movie to step into the shoes of his dad, basically. And he's not doing a good job. He's doing a bad job, actually. And I love that for when we see not the origin story, but like he came in and he stepped in and he started doing the job, but then at some point he's just like, I don't wanna do this, and that's like a big point of this movie is like, you can step up, and can you commit to the thing you're stepping into, and it's a lot of things that he has to step into and commit to, and I really really resonated with that of like, yeah, you can make the decision to jump into the big role, but like once you're in there, can you keep your feet planted? Can you like get your bearing? Can you make that work with your like life that you were already leading? It's like it does a lot. It explores a lot of the commitment to being a superhero type stuff that doesn't get explored a lot in the superhero genre often. Not in a meaningful way, I think. So I really really like that.
People with power being assholes instead. Usually is what other route is.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to give me Fighter D from Go Go Loser Ranger. Go ahead and bold that.
Yeah.
Locked in.
D with the D. D giving us the D.
Man, I love Go Go Loser Ranger. It was like, oh, do you like The Boys? Yeah, I do. It's really good. Was there something missing for you? I don't know. How about Power Rangers? I was like, oh yeah, actually yeah. I take it back.
Okay.
This is great. And from the perspective of like one of the henchmen going like off the reservation, like he's like fed up with the situation he's in and just absolutely makes the dumbest decisions and has the best luck, and it's like tooth and nail every single encounter he has with these guys, and you just like really quickly are like, actually I want him to kill the Rangers. This seems like a good for society option. And it just keeps going. The pacing's great, and he is such a linchpin to everything happening too. And in a believable way, not in a like, oh, he's just right place, right time. It's like him doing his stupid plan at the time of another thing happening. And it's just so good. It's so good. I'll talk about it all day, but I won't. And then the last one, the one I'm surprised no one said yet, was Jinx from Arcane.
She do a Y or an I? She's a Y lady, right?
She's an
Why?
I.
It was
She's an I.
An I.
I had two
She's an I.
choices and I chose the wrong.
I mean, like, there's a lot of good and a lot of bad about character choices in last season, but there's so many more good. There's so many more good parts, like Arcane. If we're talking Arcane as a total package, because we are saying it's the series finale.
Yeah,
I think Jinx as one of the movers in this was a wise decision, because it does add the like wild card effect that you want in like a show with lots of action, and just it's really interesting to see where it takes her. Like I said, ending aside, great character.
hell yeah, good stuff, man. Well, we've got the list then. Let's recap. I'll recap, and then we can kind of do some ordering and pick a nonsense top 5. So we've got the Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine, Anatar / Sauron from Rings of Power, Aerith from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Fighter D, Go Go Loser Ranger, bolded because it was picked by Ryan and D, Lady Mariko from Shogun, myself and Ryan both picked that one, Gary Johnson from Hitman, Longlegs from Longlegs, Ozcobb from The Penguin, Mr. Reed, bolded, italicized, 3-time pick from Heretic, Dementis from Furiosa, The Ghoul from Fallout, Sophia Falcone from The Penguin, Dolores Price from Say Nothing, Toros from Honora, Jackie from Love Lies Bleeding, Elizabeth Sparkle from The Substance, Count Orlok from Nosferatu, Luis Guillaburn from Metaphor, Refantazio, Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows, Sam from Somebody Somewhere, Beetlejuice from Beetlejuice, Gambit from both Deadpool and Wolverine and X-Men 97. Tricky.
I think those cancel each other out, unfortunately.
Alistair from Has-Been Hotel, Magneto from X-Men 97, Ken Sato from Ultraman Rising, and Jinx from Arcane. So I'll do a little move in here. I'll throw Mr. Reed up top just because of what we need to do here. Fighter D as well, and Lady Mariko as well as the multi-picks here, which we usually give a little bit more weight to. They don't have to stay in the top 5, but maybe they do. Is there anyone feels really passionate about that
To keep them off, yes.
Okay. What
Oh,
should not be there, Mike?
I don't think Aerith should make it. I
Interesting.
don't think
Okay.
Oswald should make it.
Oh, well.
I don't think. Who else was there? There's some other people on there. It's not letting me zoom in.
Well, we gotta pick 2 that can go.
Right. Oh, there we go. I figured it out.
I mean,
We zoomed in. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, how do you do that?
Jinx shouldn't make it.
Dolores is really fucking cool. Eric, how did
Okay.
you not put her on your list to get this
Oh,
bold
man.
guarantee?
It was tough. I will say she's an incredible character, but she's also like it's a historical drama. So like that's a real human. That like the events are from what I've heard fairly true to like what actually occurred, and I would say her sister also in the
It was
show.
pick who I wanted to pick really between like 3 of them.
Right. I also like Dark as well, Brendan.
Those are the 3.
Right, but I discounted it because it's just a historical like
Because it's real. He won't give her any credit.
I'll
Whoa.
give her the credit that
Whoa, bro.
like
What about Lady Mariko? She's probably real as fuck.
She is real fucked, actually.
it's like that's more like based on
Yeah,
like,
based on.
like Say Nothing is a straight up like a documentary style initially book and then show and it's based on like interviews with the actual people. Like so Dolores like sat down with an interviewer, explained her entire life, and like if we haven't said much about Say Nothing, it's about the Troubles in Ireland, the kind of like civil war between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland.
The first female soldier for the IRA.
Exactly.
Is Dolores Price.
She and her sister joined the Irish Republican Army, and it tells like from basically her as a teenager to her at her
They
death.
start robbing banks and shit, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I saw some of it.
They rob banks, they create car bombs, they like literally bombed London. And like a fascinating life. But it's like it's a real person. I don't know. Like I wouldn't feel bad about like I love Dolores. I think like that show blew me away. But I discounted a bit because it's like a real human, you know, it's like a person who really existed. And recently too, like this was like mostly the 70s and 80s, like all 90s. Of the shit was going on. Yeah.
Like we didn't discount like Daniel Kaluuya, like, you know,
that's true.
In the past, stuff like that.
That's true. That's true.
I look at the long list now that we got everything. I could, you know, from my own list, looking at other people's picks here, making you think I could really do without my Aerith. I'll be honest with you.
That was what I was going to ask you about because that was the one from your list that I actually felt the strongest about. But like,
really,
make a
wow,
cut for you guys. You can
She's
take
so
all of
strong.
mine off except for Luis. He's my front runner.
Luis is your front runner. I'll at least like put
Dolores
him-
is my number one.
Okay, we'll move. We'll do some movement here. We'll do some movement. So we've moved Luis and Dolores up into the bubble here. And we'll keep talking. We'll keep talking here. So Ryan, let's talk some Aerith here.
Yeah.
You're fine with her leaving.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe because I've seen it before, in some way, shape, or form.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that. But just like people's other choices on the list feel so much stronger in ways that, hearing their points kind of. If I had to choose someone from my 5, that would be mine. I'd be 100% okay without a fight letting go. Because I
They make
actually
you play as her for like 4 hours at the end of that game, and it's awful.
yeah.
It's terrible. She moves so slow. She like does little.
Hopped around.
I hate her. I hate her.
Hey, Mike, save it.
Save
Throw it up, baby.
Damn.
Man,
All right.
fucking symbol.
All right. Is there anyone from fine? So we'll just say Aerith is not eligible for top 5. Is there anyone from your list, Ryan, who you do feel like super pumped about, like who should be up there? Well, I mean, I guess you got Fighter D kind of up there, so I shouldn't I shouldn't even
he's
ask
repped.
you anymore.
Sure. Yeah. Probably Anatar, Sauron, maybe. The 2 people I chose are up there, but
I forgot you
anyone
also
else.
picked Lady Mariko. Yeah, fuck you,
Yeah,
Ryan. No,
so
you're
I mean-
out. You're done. You're done. You've got all. You're probably getting someone on this list. So no.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ryan's okay. He's sitting pretty.
God, did we figure this out so quick? I don't like how quick we got 5 that do represent everyone on this list here. Maybe we still order. We could definitely change the list. I liked Tomas's Gambit pick a lot, actually. We should maybe talk about Tomas's Gambit pick here.
I like Louise a lot.
Prefer Magneto though.
Okay.
That's what makes it harder for me because
It is difficult.
now I'm in a rock and a hard place because I love Gambit and I fucking love Magneto. But I don't know what's spilling more into my choice, outside media from years of being with these characters. I feel like I got a bias for both of them.
I think both are very well represented in Magneto in X-Men 97 is phenomenal. He's kind of the focal point of the overarching
Magneto.
story. And then Gambit has some of the most important scenes, and I also love Channing Tatum's Gambit in Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's hilarious.
So
Yeah.
I got to see Magneto save the mutants by keeping his non-existent heart, his body alive with the power of magnetism, right? In the comics. And that shit was gnarly and it was dope. And he went out like a fucking G. He's back because comics are comics, but for me, that put Magneto on a whole nother fucking stratosphere.
well, see, I don't know any of that shit, and I still think he's fucking dope in X-Men 97.
Fucking awesome. Magneto's fucking oh god.
And the fact that he does it all in that stupid fucking costume, and I still respect him.
The only man who can make it work.
Have we've nominated Magneto in the past? Or no, he's bracketed nonsense.
He's on the
material.
bracket.
Right,
Yeah.
Leather Daddy Magneto was not my favorite, but his actions and what he stands for and everything in that is pretty cool.
Let's at least maybe put him near the. He's on the bubble. He's on the bubble there a little bit. He's in that range.
I would
Dementus
love
was kind
to.
of on my short list.
Oh, Dementus from Furiosa.
I like the Dementus pick.
Let's talk a little bit of Dementus. I thought he was great as well. Chris Hemsworth, I think, is best when he's being a goofball, right?
Yeah.
And a big burly goofball, and that's what Dementus is.
Yeah, the scene where he rides into,
Ugh.
the play, wherever, Fury Road takes place.
He's all red.
Yeah, and he's like, I am Dementus, and I'm here to take over. And his whole dumb Barker spiel, he's just like a fucking carny that's trying to
That's how I
take
looked
over
at
the
him.
wasteland, and
He's a carny.
I really dug his whole thing.
And he's
Thought
constantly
he was
getting
the
his
best part
ass
of the
kicked
movie.
too. It's great.
All the time.
Yeah, he's kind of failing upwards all the time in the movie.
I don't remember that. A little unhinged. I liked his performance. I think it was one of the best in the movie. I think he outshined Anna Taylor, whatever her name is, Anna Taylor, whatever, by a huge margin.
Yeah.
I wish there was just my only problem with Dementus is I wish there was just more.
Oh, okay.
I wish there was just more of him because he was so good and he was like, he stole the scenes whenever he's in one, and
Just long stretches where he's not in the movie, right?
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, you started so strong and like, fuck, holy shit, give me more of this guy. This is fantastic.
Maybe spoon feeding is, just a little here and there.
Mike, I want to hear more about your Count Orlok because holy crap.
You've seen it, right, Ryan? I mean,
what a performance, man. Holy fuck. Yeah, amazing.
What do we think of the mustache?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Yeah, I thought the look was really interesting. It wasn't what I expected. I saw a lot of like people posting weird, like, this is what Bill Hader's going to, or not Bill Skarsgård's going to look like.
I want Bill Hader as Orlok now.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. And it wasn't what I thought. I thought it was going to be much more in line with the Max Schreck old, 100-year-old nose, which it kind of is, but he looks, I don't know, like a Red Ribbon Army Dragon Ball character.
Yeah, that's a great description.
Living in Transylvania, I don't know. And I dug his design, dug just the whole thing, the scene where he finally gets to I forget the town that he winds up moving to and buying land, and the shadow that creeps across everything, and just the plague and madness that comes with him on that ship. The scariest moments of the movie are pulled off really well. The jump scare kind of moments are great with him too, and I don't know. I really dug him, and Year of Great Horror. I thought he was like the best character probably for me out of all of it. Even more. I know Mr. Reed is highlighted for us already, and I loved him as well. I thought Orlok was even a bit better.
Yeah.
Orlok was, I gotta, like, there's just several scenes from that movie. Most of the shadow shit is my favorite stuff with Orlok. Like, anything with shadows, when he meets his end at the end, there's a great use of a cool shadow on a pillow kind of thing that happens. Love the voice, love the like weird, stilted, just very slow. Every word is coming out like so
a million
slow.
years old.
Oh, we see his dick. If that gets like it's the only character currently in our like bubble,
the Orcock,
where we see the full the Orcock, yes,
full schlong.
Yeah, so I can't say that about any of the other characters on this list. So just
We don't see Laszlo.
It's hinted at many times.
It's very implied.
Like, I feel like seen that.
Still FX. Can't really like.
Do we? Okay. So, are we comfortable with Mr. Reed, Fighter D from Go-Go Loser Ranger, Mr. Reed from Heretic, and Lady Mariko from Shogun actually being locked in? I'd feel comfortable, but that's two of my picks, so.
Fighter, so this is like, I know D described it as the boys, but Power Rangers. So Fighter D is he the leader of
Fighter D. So there's the Power Rangers, hierarchy, and there's
Right.
Rita Repulsa, like a main big boss villain, and then there's her henchman, right? Fighter D is
Oh,
the
he-
henchman. Yeah, he's the
Okay.
henchman, and what kind of
cool.
the setting is like
Like
the Power
Goldar or
Rangers.
something?
Yeah, the Power Rangers really destroyed all the big old Rita Repulsas of the world like years ago, but they're keeping pretty much society at bay and believing there's always a threat by using these henchmen, so to speak, as like theatrics. Kind of like think of like a my goodness, the medieval show you go to, what was it called? Medieval Times. Kind of like that almost, like just theatrics and just keeping, they're super weak, but the thing
public
is,
believe that it's real.
right? People believe it's real, and they sell merch, commercialize,
Okay.
etc. But these guys, they're kind of immortal. They're kind of immortal because they're like basically they live on this like kind of think of almost like a Kami's tower type situation with all these crystals and stuff, and they're just kind of put there. And so Fighter D just gets kind of sick of the bullshit for years and years and years. He plans to like how to infiltrate the Rangers, and the Rangers are all not great people. Let's be real. They're pretty
boysish.
Yeah, boysish.
The egos are huge. The egos are massive. But and I'll say the difference from the boys is they have redeeming qualities. Like the Rangers aren't just like pieces of shit all the time. They actually protect people. They don't really like some of them don't really think too highly of the general populace, but they do actually protect people. They consider it their job, and they get through it, and they don't really demean too many people to do it. But the stark difference, I think, is that they added like Power Ranger squadrons underneath each character. So you have full battalions of people who want to be the next Red Ranger, the next Blue Ranger, the next Green, like they want to be the next one. So they joined up. So there's just like this whole hierarchy, and like there's political shit, and then there's personal shit, and it's all happening simultaneously as, this character is just fed up with the whole fucking thing. And he very naively like starts going after them with like almost no plan at first. And, stroke of luck, he meets the one Ranger that's like, I'll help you kill them. I'll help you kill all of them. And he's like, this is strange and lucky, but I don't care.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care if I'm going to be your pawn. I'm tired of being theirs. And it's a ride. Like, it is straight up a ride. He has wild success right out the gate, like procuring like one of the Rangers like sources of power, and it starts snowballing really, really fast and getting out of hand, and he's just kind of right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, and since those henchmen, they're so weak, like they're so weak. Even the henchmen of the Rangers could whoop their ass. Like he really has to think. He has a certain power. The henchmen have power that make him very. He can infiltrate things easy. Kind of like it starts off very like spy subterfuge kind of sort of deal, and it's just very interesting because he has to think. Otherwise, how do I beat these people without just like brute force, right? How do I basically turn themselves against each other? Anyways, yeah, Fighter D's great.
So, Mike, it sounds like he's basically Jack Quaid. If that, like,
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Your favorite part of the boys, I think.
We got to get rid of the go-go.
No, honestly, the whole premise sounds amazing of Go-Go Loser Ranger. Okay, then we're deciding on 4 and 5, basically. In terms of Dolores Price from Say Nothing, Luis Guillaburn from Metaphor Refantasia. I made a line. I don't know if we're going to go with this, but that's my bubble line. I've also got Magneto from X-Men 97, Dementus from Furiosa, and Count Orlok from Nosferatu as like the on the bubble picks that could jump into 4 or 5 there. I don't know. What are we feeling? Anyone want to poke at Dolores Price or Luis Guillabarn?
I mean, if I don't mind the list the way that it is. Dolores seemed cool. I watched I think 3 or 4 episodes of Say Nothing. I plan on finishing it at some point.
Please do. It wraps up phenomenally.
Cool.
Okay.
I got a little taste of Luis from the demo I played. He did seem like a fucker.
Very good.
Little Lord Boy.
Oh, he gets
Lord boy.
up to like 11, man. Fucking old boy goes nuts, and he doesn't let off the gas. Like, he's just fucking like, fuck you. This is it. Fucking fall in line or get the fuck out of the way. Like, it's hard to explain a character in a 100-hour plus game, you know, in a short amount of time, but old boy's wild.
Right.
It's a very representative top 5. It covers all of our tastes, all of our like experiences this year. So, not against it. Kayla, what do you think? I mean, Dolores was your pick, so she's on there.
Mm-hmm. I also like it the way that it is. I felt like it looked pretty good.
All right. If speak now or forever hold your peace, everyone. We might have a top 5 in best character in 2024. All right. Your silence is golden. Best character 2024 for the Nonsense of the Year Awards goes to Mr. Reed from Heretic, with Fighter D from Go Go Loser Ranger, Lady Mariko from Shogun, Dolores Price from Say Nothing, and Luis Guillabarn from Metaphor Refantasio.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I love every time you say metaphor refantasio. Eric. It's just it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite.
Fantasio.
Fantasio.
Fantasio. All right. We ready for best scene?
I'm excited for best scene. I really am.
All right. We are on to best scene of 2024 for the Nonsense of the Year Awards, day 2. And we're going to start off with Mike.
All right. So for my favorite moments of the year, I had my number 5. This moment,
This magic.
probably the funniest moment of the year for me. Outside of like certain things were really funny, like a lot of Fallout is funny. Thank goodness you're here. But this Ricky Stenicki is a movie where
God damn.
this group of friends, played by like Zac Efron and like Andrew Santino from that one podcast, they've always had this fake person to blame. Every time they fucked up in life, they always blame it on this Ricky Stenicki character. And then later on in life, they all remain friends and they're successful. And they always plan these boy trips around visiting this Ricky Stenicki, who their wives have never met. So finally, the wives need to know, like, they need to like meet this Ricky Stenicki. So they need to find a Ricky Stenicki who will be played by Hot Rod Ron, who's played by John Cena.
Oh my god.
Who they like find online?
No, not Hot Rod Ron, Rock Hard Ron, who has like his own show in Vegas, I believe, where he does X-rated covers of famous rock songs.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Their wives have never heard of him.
Like he does Devo. So discretion advised here. I'm getting dirty here, everyone.
Ooh.
All right.
Dirty.
He does Devo's Whip It, and he's like, oh, grab that dick. Dude, your hand will fit. And this is John Cena up here. Full Devo here. He has a Billy Idol one. Nice day for some wood whacking. But the best one is his Peter Frampton. He's, ooh, baby, I masturbate. and that'll just pop up in my head all the time, and it's really funny. He's in a fake wig, and he's like got the wind machine blowing his hair, and sorry, that's my number 5. Hide the kids.
I'd argue that you're number 1.
Yeah, for real. Set the bar really high.
So we started off with "Ooh, Baby, I Masturbate" from Ricky Stanicky.
Yeah, we're starting off strong.
We are.
Too strong.
My number 4 is they figured out how to like make a cool alien movie, like without doing the same exact beats over and over again. Alien Romulus is like a pack of like teenagers, maybe early 20s, working like in a nowhere like colony somewhere and just trying to like find a way out. And they get word of this derelict Weyland-Yutani ship out in, not too far out from their atmosphere. And they plan on, salvaging whatever they can from there and making it back to like someone's homeworld, I believe, way out in the galaxy. And it isn't, what we've always seen, the group of the smartest people on a spaceship. Oh, let's look into an egg. Oh, God. Like, there's actually, like, shit goes wrong. They need to, like, get to, like, a certain medical bay in the ship. And then that kind of defrosts all of these, the face huggers that have been frozen on the ship. And it was just a really neat way to like introduce the threat. I thought, there is a lot of, fan servicey kind of stuff in the movie, but really the sequences and just the whole kind of the backgrounds of all the characters and things were really different for the series, I thought. And I don't know, it was cool. Like, I think Alien's in a cool place. It's cool to have Predator hopefully in a cool place. It seems like maybe that's wishy-washy whether we're going to get that Prey sequel. And then for Alien, it just keep humming along, 50, 60 years later, whatever it's going to be. It's pretty neat.
Hell yeah. They figured out Alien.
Yes. My number 3 is from House of the Dragon, episode 4.
Aragon.
Probably the best episode of the season. This part was like where the battle at Rook's Nest, and you have like the big dragon battles between Rhaenys and oh man, what's Eye Patch's name? Aegon, I believe.
It's totally 14, right?
Yeah. He's a big guy.
Mike
and just
knows just how big he is, I think.
Yay!
Oh yeah. We get to see the Orcock as well. For sure. Yeah. And just reminded me of the best thing, when Thrones was at its peak, of this is the closest that House of the Dragons got to it, I think, where there's this epic scene at the end. It's the big battle, and all, it is like the destruction that a dragon can bring. Rhaenys knows it's going to be kind of it for her. She had that moment in season 1 where she could have like took out the whole royal family when she broke out from the ground and stuff. But this is like her way of making up for maybe that error. And, she has to battle 2 dragons. She's battling Vaegor and I forget the king character's dragon, but they're just the way the money that was spent on these dragon, the dance of dragons we finally get to see, and it has the deception, the battles, the over the top CG stuff that we want from the show. The death of a great character, I thought Rhaenys was kind of my favorite character in the show at that point, and of course, if it's my favorite character, they're not long for the world in that universe. So had to say bye to her, and you know, Aemon double crossing with his, giant dragon, which had been hidden in the forest, like they covered him up with fucking leaves and shit. That was cool. And him waking, this sleepy giant waking up, and he's like the Basil Geis in Monster Hunter or whatever he's like a jet airliner compared to these other dragons, and cool stuff. I didn't think that the season ended as strong as that episode got us to, but it was really nice to just feel that again in TV, nonetheless.
Long live Rhaenys, the queen who never was.
Big ups.
Big ups.
Yes, absolutely. My number 2 is a scene from Longlegs. It's a Kiernan Shipka's scene. It is found in Longlegs has a way of like hypnotizing people, I guess, or like making them become like sleeper agents in a way. And Kiernan Shipka's character has been like almost comatose in like a home facility for years and years and years.
This is the mom.
No, this is Kiernan Shipka. She was from Mad Men. She was the newest Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She has a really short haircut in this. She's only in the one scene with the main character.
Okay.
And she talks in this real rhymey-wimey way of talking. And she's talking about Longlegs' character, like she'll do like a cultist or something, like she would do anything for this person. And man, it's the best scene of the movie, I thought. It really gave me the heebie-jeebies. The way she like, I would just be peaches to blow your head off right here, right now. And just her nonchalant, like kind of way of speaking. And man, really, really top-notch stuff. I didn't know that she had that in her, because she's kind of I don't know, she's in like more of a CW kind of mode of the projects that she's been doing, and it was cool to see her like the darker side of what she's got going on. And my number 1 is from X-Men 97, and it's the name, the name's Gambit. Remember it. It's really great. X-Men 97, which we all kind of were streaming together and watching, was so awesome to do it that way. And there's just like a moment halfway through the scene where things are going great for the mutants, and then fucking baloney hits the fan, man. And there's like a master mold sentinel or whatever, like attacking their party and everything. And then mutants are going down left and right. And Gambit does this like ultimate sacrifice at the end where he, his power is he's able to manipulate and explode whatever he's like touching, and he tricks the master mold thing into like piercing him with its like, it could do this like just matrix tentacle and turn itself into anything. And he pulled, the old switcheroo and takes it out and saves, thousands and thousands of mutants potentially. And it was dope. And I thought Magneto overall was great. I thought Gambit had the better moment. Yeah, that's my number 1 with a bullet for sure. Nothing stopped it.
Remember it.
Oh,
That's
there
good.
he is.
I man Gambit.
Anyways.
Hell yeah. All right. Ryan, you're next up.
God, riding on that high.
That's tough, yeah, right?
Well, it's
Riding
not
on the
tough
wind.
at all, because guess what? One of my favorite ones was the death of Gambit. That whole fucking scene was incredible. It was amazing. Fantastic. What a way to go out. Yeah, Mike said it all. I don't need to say any more about it. That's my, one of mine. I'm gonna say, I guess I'd call it a show, but Conan O'Brien on Hot Ones was the most unhinged, ridiculous, over the top shit I've ever seen. I have never seen the host truly worried about anyone. Like, I seen him truly worried about Conan O'Brien. That motherfucker was drinking hot sauce. He had the whole bit of Dr. Aurelio coming in, checking his pulse on his forehead, and just that whole bit was just it was amazing. It was the whole that whole show.
It's a good nomination.
The episode in particular was amazing. Yeah, that was hilarious. And I thought, is this motherfucker going to be okay after all that? And on his podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, he kind of talks about what happened and what transpired after. And he made a whole other segment about him welding, shit in New York or wherever he was at the time. But that was great. This one, I think only D will get, but Garp versus Okiji from One Piece.
Saw the clips.
Yeah.
There's just layers to that. Mentor versus the mentee, and that
Mentos.
just a dialogue and what's going on and the expectation and the build up to that fight of only seeing Garp really fight for the first time to seeing Okiji fight for the first time. And the line they'll always stick with me is like, you have a habit of basically training traitors. It was just cuts deep because his grandson's a pirate. Himself is a traitor, so far as we know. His son, which is Luffy's dad, is the most wanted man in the world. And yeah, that whole fight was amazing. The ending of him basically being frozen over, laughing as all people with the bears the name of D do, and telling the next generation of young Marines he saved, hey, you're the future. Essentially, that was amazing. Loved it. Let's see. No particular order. One out to say is Sauron's transformation into Anatar. If you guys are like Lord of the Ring nerds like me, you'll know that Sauron is called the Great Deceiver, and basically he has to convince Celebrimbor, which is the guy who makes all the Rings of Power, and the One Ring. Well, helps in aiding making the One Ring. He has to believe, that this guy is going to help him, and who is he to offer advice to someone who is thousands of years old? He basically tricks him into... Sauron's a Maiar, right? So Valar are pretty much like god-like people. That's the best way I can describe it. They're, gods, essentially. So he convinces him he is a messenger of the Valar, and he's there to help him on his quest to make the Rings of Power. But that scene, when he does it, when I say like it's pretty much like Jesus coming down, like it's visually, it is incredible. Acting wise, it's incredible. And if you haven't seen it, that season, I would highly recommend just looking at that scene because it's wild. It's stellar. Blew me away. And my number one is in spoilers, in Shogun, when Toranaga tells his right-hand man, Hiramatsu, to commit seppuku. I mean, that weight, like just the levels of loyalty and the layers behind the motives and what's actually going on, the complexity of his son being his second, having to basically cut off his head, to him staring him in the eyes and basically tearing up with Hiramatsu because that's his closest friend, to what he knows this means, basically convince the enemy that he means business. He is a man of his word, and this is actually going on. I mean, that was such a fucking intense scene, guys. I just, I don't grimace very often, but like that, when he cuts his gut open and like he goes all out, like, holy fuck, guys, sit back, because that was... I don't know, that was just insane. Great acting, great setup. Man, that just blew me away, that scene. But that's my top 5.
Good pick. Violence is done so subtly in Shogun, and that is one of those like just fuck. Like scenes.
Yeah, when it happens, it takes your breath away. It's intense, man.
Great pick. Really good pick there. Hiramatsu Seppuku. All right, D, you're up next.
All right, I got my 5. I'm gonna start from the bottom, then I'll work my way to the top. The first one is from Go Go Loser Ranger, and it's when D kills Big Blue Keeper.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't.
He kills him so dead. But it is he doesn't get to do it on his own, and that causes him to have like a huge like inner conflict about what it really means to kill like the Blue Keeper. What it means to kill them and what taking a life really is. Because for him, like Ryan mentioned earlier, they're immortal, like functionally immortal. They turn into dust, they reform. As long as they don't get hit by the divine weapons from the Rangers, they're good. They just come back. So they don't experience pain like we experience pain. They don't have that life or death struggle all the time. Except D has been having that. So like he's come so close to death a few times that when he sees it, happen to somebody else for the first time, by the way, in front of him, like he really does have like a moment of like, is this like what I actually want? And you get like a really just it raises the stakes of what he's doing from like hokey, I'm the bad guy and I'm gonna go kill the Rangers and get all my guys freedom, to like, oh, this is they're not playing this death down. Like the Rangers react, his squadron reacts, like the executives, as they're called, he's like chuckling as he gets away. He's like, I got one of them. That's one less problem for us. They can't beat our ass again. And that it really sets up the tone, like, and it solidifies it. Because at this point, they're kind of doing like a weird training tournament arc bullshit thing, and I was just kind of enjoying the ride. And then when this death happens, which is pretty early on in the story, I was like, oh, they're really gonna kill him. They're gonna kill all of them off one by one. And so it really was a big moment for the anime to cover, which I didn't think they were gonna get there. I got another season coming, so that makes me really happy.
Ooh, nice. Sounds like a better version of like the Kill the Justice League. Yeah. The game is trying to do.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good comparison. Yeah, that's good. Except there's no dumbass Amanda Waller. There's just a deranged yellow Ranger girl. Anyway, my next one is gonna be Chimera Fallen from Delicious in Dungeon. Delicious in Dungeon is an anime set in a fantasy world where the dungeon thing it's normal because it's become a part of the ecology of the country, and not because magic and bullshit, but because it like actually drives the economy of this country, the dungeon delving and getting the artifacts and da. So there's a unique magical thing happening in this dungeon where if you die in it, you can get revived, but specifically in the dungeon. So that's kind of like the driving focus of the story. At the beginning, they're going back down to get the main character, Laios' sister, who got eaten by a red dragon. And there's this whole little thing about on the way down, we don't have enough resources. We have to eat monsters on the way down to survive. That's the whole like driving force of this show. And then they get to where she should be, where the dragon should be. They got to kill the dragon, get her out, get her remains out, and then they can revive her. Whole thing. That is, as you can assume by my tone, that does not go super well for them. She's nearly fully digested, and their mage has to kind of like dig deep into some like ancient ass magic to bring her back. And the like mad mage running the dungeon ain't too happy about any of that. And he kind of takes their friend and turns her into this weird chimera dragon creature that comes back and just absolutely starts killing everybody there. And they're in a low level where like people aren't normally coming down looking for bodies. So if they die, they might be dead, like for real dead. And it really comes like to tooth and nail. And then, hitting what I feel like is that sort of dread of halfway of the narrative and halfway like, oh, I may have stepped into a high level area on accident and this is bad for me. Like that feeling, mixed with like the very real feeling of like, oh, imminent death. The tone shift from haha, we're eating a little walking mushroom and we're cooking little guys and it's so funny and cute, ha ha ha, to that just really was like, oh, this is a fucking fantasy story. This isn't just one of those anime romps through the woods. And it made me salivate with how much like, and there's again more of that coming, but it's just really good. It really made the tension and everything building up to it mean something. And they don't immediately save her. There's more they got to figure out to like come back. And God, I just fucking love it. It's so good. It's so fucking good. And the characters are good. It's so good. Moving on. Writing the Shai Hulud in Dune 2.
Ooh.
That was in like I was very high, so hyped. Like it was like I started like getting up. I was like, yeah, we're doing it. So good,
It's
so
pretty
good, and
Alien man.
yeah, I don't know. It's just like it hit the young adult, teenager part of my brain of like, oh shit, he's doing the thing. And I just
Said the name.
yeah. Yeah, it really just activated that part of my brain for me. And not too many things did that this year for me. It made me feel like that mixture of like, this is a new and nostalgic thing that I really enjoy, except for the other thing that I'm gonna mention, but like specifically this, because I didn't experience Dune. Like my mom read all the books when I grew up. We watched the old movies, so like some of the stuff that they retained from the old movies and the source material, like I was like, yes, this is familiar, but like getting this scene the way that it's presented was so good. It's so good. It's so good. Brain tingles. This next one is like again, like the satisfaction of seeing a thing come to an end that I didn't know I needed, which was the Fox Heroes final stand during Deadpool and Wolverine. Where we kind of get like the big fight scene for all the things you get. You get that version of Gambit, kind of like, yeah, I finally get to do stuff. It's just it was like hard. It just felt good. I don't know. I can't really explain fully, but it was like getting to see those characters kind of get their last little limelight and one-liners and fucking cool references to like Blade throwing his fucking batarang thing that like explodes people. That's fucking sick.
Bladerang. Thank you.
Bladerang. Yeah, that was just all fun, and I was like, wow, Electra's here. That's wow, novel. I don't know. I really enjoyed like a lot of the, because I've just really been enjoying a lot of more stories, like in-depth stories, movies that go a little farther in depth. So it's nice to have like these like sort of like really big kind of like, I'm really enjoying this popcorn moment. Like, and I don't get a lot of that from like TV anymore. TV seems like more committed watching, whereas like these movies I really got to just kind of like be in that moment, enjoy it, and then it was good. It was good, and it's something that like I can joke about, and I don't know. I just had a lot of fun talking about that. But for my number one moment, it's from X-Men 97. It's in episode 2, and it's the speech Magneto gives, and he kind of ends it with the "Do not make me let you down," and it just hits that literal metaphorical line because you just get this beautiful shot of the world, and they're just floating above it, and he's giving this sort of like passive aggressive speech, and that fully, like, after that scene I was like, oh, we're gonna get treated. And as much as I really wanted to also kind of put the Gambit scene down, I feel like this one hit me harder because it was first, and because it set up the tone that I got to enjoy Gambit's sacrifice even more than if, before these episodes, there wasn't like a big moment like this that kind of set the stakes. So I think importance and impact for me was this scene.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Maybe someone else might have that on their list as well, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Tomas, best moments for you.
Okay. No particular order. I want to start off with something a little bit lighter. Kind of dips into two ponds. But you'll get it when I say it. The moment I stopped playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's a few weird ones like that in here. So.
God damn.
Brace for impact.
It's too early.
May correlate to a disappointment as well.
Are all 5 of yours just going to be FF7 Rebirth related?
I said I came to dunk. I will dunk.
God.
All right. I'll do a serious one. Kind of serious, but I labeled it "fuck utilization in Beetlejuice." So it's a PG-13 movie, and you can say "fuck" once without bleeping it. Well, they said it twice in the movie.
Oh.
First time was to drop the boyfriend into hell when Beetlejuice drops him down. Used very well there. Because you're like, at this point, you're like, this guy's a dick. He's gonna kill old girl. He's gonna take old girl's soul, and
Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him, right? So yeah, essentially, fuck you, and boom, go to hell. And the next time, and I only caught this because like I knew this thing about like the PG-13 things. I think it's probably from listening to the rewatchables too much. But yeah, and I caught this, and I was like, oh shit! I was like. It's true. It's like when his ex-wife shows up like at the wedding scene or like at the end God, I forget how it fucking ends. I know he gets eaten by a worm, but like somewhere in that church when it fucking it's been forever. Yeah. But yeah, they use it to comedic effect, but they bleep it, and I was like, to me, that just kind of stood out to me. I was like, kind of like harping on it about with Jackie in the car. I was like, oh man, it's like
That's really good.
Kind of felt kind of felt like a cinema nerd for a second there, and I was like, yeah, kind of made the movie for me. So, also, the movie was just fun, but
yeah.
Okay, let's see. Mainly, this one's just kind of a. I've been saying this all day. I've been saying this for like the past couple of days. But might I interest you in a succulent Chinese meal? I've been getting a lot of leverage out of that one lately. I just feel like I got to bring some love to a show that's like leaving me for the, rest of my life. That carried me through a lot of dark times.
It'll still be here.
I know. It was such a fun
It is one of those shows that's fun to rewatch and laugh and even like laugh in anticipation of knowing what is coming. It's one of those. It's good at that.
Matt Berry, like he just does it for me. Like even before the show, like all the other stuff that he
The
did.
hardest part for me of watching Nosferatu was just like, dude, this guy is Nandor. This is just fucking Nandor here.
So I have not gotten any of that from my rewatch of Castlevania. no Nandors in there, or try to get ready for the next season. But
Master of boats.
okay, let's see what else I got here. I had a few just jump around. I'll give the actual serious one last,
Ooh.
but I wrote down Balatro not making me broke. So I get to gamble at the comfort of my home without having to, put up my house on the market. I could still pay my rent. So that one was fun for me.
That's really good.
I got into that game like way too late in the year, but it's like kind of glad I got into it at the end of the year, because that would have like crippled any other like consumption I did for the rest of the year. So
Kayla and I got
another one.
into it like 3 hours ago, so there you go.
Oh. It's fun.
It is.
It's fun.
But yeah, the last one's an actual moment from like a video game. It's like again, I'm just typing Rifantasio and I'm going to say Rifantasio as many times as I can on this podcast. But
Fantastic.
there's like a million scenes in this game. There's a million like, oh my God moments. Some of them very obvious. So like I picked one from the beginning kind of ish. It's kind of like when everything, like all the stakes are kind of set, like it happens at the king's actual funeral. Like the king's been dead for a while. They're prepping for it. And essentially your squad is trying to set up an assassination attempt on Luis. Like the main guy is like, he did it. He's, supposedly put a curse on the rightful prince to take over the throne. Luis is trying to usurp everything. And so you're like going up to this event, and Luis shows up. He crashes the funeral. He's like, it's a good thing the king's dead. Fuck him. He was running this country like shit. I'm going to make this shit happen like for real. And your guy, your assassin's showing up, and he jumps out and he goes to like try to stab this motherfucker, through the crowd. And like the king's like magic fucking like just stops him. Like, it's like before the king died, he fucking used the staff to like fucking essentially raise the castle up into the sky and put his giant face on it to say like, hey, the next king will be decided by like favor, not so much, by the church chooses it or the old powers that be. Like, the people will choose it and it will be decided through my magic. So anyone who's a front runner is protected by the king's magic. So like this assassin dude, Grius, he goes to like fucking, try to stab Louise and shit. And these chains just fucking bind him in the air. And like not even missing a beat, Luis is just like, slit. Like, sorry, bro, you're dead. He's like, fucking. And then, yeah, so like it kind of like sets the thing. It's like, all right, the main bad of the game is protected by this like magical field. He doesn't give a fuck. And he's already running roughshod like on everyone. And it's like, well, how the fuck do we, beat this guy? So it kind of like sets the huge like stage piece of the rest of the game. So I kind of just labeled it the King's Funeral from Rifantasio.
Love it.
Kind of pops off a lot of shit all at once.
Yeah, it's kind of where the demo ends is right around that part, and it's like, ooh, I bet if I play the rest of this game, it'd be a pretty cool story.
It's pretty fun.
It's a cool scene for sure.
It's a fun ride. A lot of fun characters. Cool world. Really interesting shit going on in it too. So kind of got me through the election season. So
there you go.
Oh, on to Kayla.
Metaphor Ron DeSantosio. What?
Yeah, that's what they call him.
No.
Oh no.
Yep. Metaphor Ron DeSantio. Yep, that's the one.
No.
Game of the year.
If I had a physical copy of it, I'd have to burn it now. I guess I'll just burn my portal.
Oh, I don't know how you can follow that up, Caleb, but attempt.
Well, apparently, feel like there's some gray area here or some overlapping. I have down
Hot ones.
Blade, Gambit, Johnny Blaze cameo
Mm.
from Deadpool versus Wolverine. I know when I saw Blade, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, shit.
they did it. Oh my god. And like the Gambit stuff was good and they kept at the Gambit stuff and that was good. And the Johnny Blaze stuff was so good just because it's like, oh, it's Captain America. Oh, wait, no. It's not. They kind of pulled that out from under you, which was really fun. I liked that little bit.
I'll bold Fox Heroes Last Stand because it's like it's both of those. It's right. It's their introduction. Like, oh my god, they're in this movie, and for the last time, and they also make a last stand, right? Like, so it's
right.
It's
That's
all
why I'm like, it's kind of the same. It's kind of a gray area to.
I think they're kind of
thing.
different, though. I don't think we should.
Yeah, Mike doesn't want it bolded. Oh.
Little too different.
I feel like they're getting on here one way or another.
Nah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Summer and Gambit, guys.
That's number 5. Number 4, I have the cannon attack from Shogun. Now, I'm not going to be able to tell you their names, but there's like the Toranaga. I think I do remember his name. His son is
shithead.
Like,
yeah.
Well, he wants to prove himself, and the white American man or Englishman who knows about cannons and firepower teaches him how to use cannons. He's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna. Well, there's like also like people whispering in his ear, and there's all kinds of this and that, and like not necessarily an enemy, but people who they're supposed to start having talks with is in the area, and they just release cannons on those motherfuckers and take them all out and start war. And so that's number 4.
That's so good. Good pick.
Number 3, I have a question I think we all ask ourselves. Well, what kind of American are you?
Oh.
From Civil War with Jesse Plemons.
Almost made my list. Almost.
That's good. That's good.
Enough. I don't need to explain anymore.
It's in the trailer, folks. So good.
Number 2, I have. Oh, I wrote that the wrong way. Season 2, episode 1 of Arcane. That shit was good. It's like the first episode, we're seeing the aftermath of Jinx's explosion. Like all the people are hurt. The ceremony, the like celebration of life thing happens that episode as well, where they're getting attacked by shit is popping off in that episode, and it's like, all right, we're gonna do stuff. And Caitlyn is like dealing with the I don't want to be in charge, and then she takes she understands her thing, and she shows up all like, I'm gonna lead my army and do shit, and then too much happens and not enough gets answered. But episode 1 was real good.
I liked
Number
episode
1.
like 7 or something. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Episode
Put it
7
on the
was
list.
good. Yeah.
My number 1 is what I called we're gonna go from Speak No Evil. This is the second attempt that the family has at leaving. They gotta wait for James McAvoy to wake up from his drunken anger. He's sleeping off his angry drunkenness. They gotta wait to tell him that they're gonna leave. The wife is like begging them, like, please don't leave without telling him that you're gonna leave. Like, I know y'all want to leave because he's fucking crazy and scary, but please don't do it without telling him. And like then they go to their car and they got a flat tire, and then they fix the tire, and then oh no, they're like stuffed animals like up in the gutter. And James McAvoy's just like, yeah, you gonna get it? You gonna get it? And then they're driving away. They're like, all right, we're gonna leave. But what about this boy? Like we know things about this boy. We can't leave this boy here. They're like, we're gonna go get help. We'll come back for him. We've already learned, spoiler alert, I know we've already said that, but we've already learned that this little boy can't swim. And you're looking in your mirror and James McAvoy just picks this boy up and throws him in the pond. So
No.
they gotta stop and save
Sometimes
him.
you just
And
gotta let a kid drown, you know.
well, they don't let him drown. And then they're stuck there, and that's why they're stuck there. And so that show is crazy.
That's really good.
Ooh.
That was a movie too that I did not think I was gonna like. We saw a million trailers, and I was like, oh my god, enough already. I don't want to watch this movie.
Mhm.
But I watched it, and I was really really happy I did. I really liked it.
Good call. All right.
Great.
Well, last but not least, me for best moment. Starting off with my number 5, I'm gonna call it
The
Jedi.
definitive 5.
The definitive 5, yeah. I'm gonna call it Jedi Slaughter, but I should probably spell it right. Slaughter. That's how you spell it.
Slaughter.
From The Acolyte, season 1 and season only 1 because they canceled it.
Only season. Only season.
Midway
That's a tough
through The Acolyte, there is probably, I don't know, there's a lot of cool lightsaber stuff in the canon of Star Wars on screen, but this is without a doubt the most violent lightsaber battle I've ever seen, the most like visceral, and honestly the coolest. Like the Stranger, kind of like the antagonist of the series, goes to town on like a half dozen Jedi and fucking rocks them, murders them in every, like fights 3 at a time, kills them all like indiscriminately, and finally, to kind of cap it off, a character who you think, Jecki, played by Daphne Keane, like X-23 from Logan, who you think is like, up until this point, she's been pretty like main character-ish, or like important side character. She goes toe-to-toe with the Stranger, and you think, oh, she's getting the upper hand on him, and he gives her a triple tap with his saber, turns into 2 sabers that you didn't know. He gets a little like dagger saber, and pokes 3 holes in her, and she's fucking dead. And it's
got Game of Thrones.
She gets Game of Thrones as fuck, and it's just like a truly like, holy shit, the Stranger's cool. They're gonna kill Jedi here. Like there's no, because it's set in the like Old Republic era, they can kind of
He's mad.
Get away with it.
get away with stuff. Like these aren't the Skywalkers and stuff. And
Ooh.
like it's cool, you know, and unfortunately, you know, we
Got her in the Daphne spleen, huh?
you got her in the Daphne spleen.
Yeah.
It's all right, gonna call it Daphne
Oh,
spleen now instead of Jedi Slaughter. But I remember seeing this and like texting the group or sending in Discord or something that like, man, this is some of the coolest like Star Wars fighting I've seen. The choreography is really, really good. And yeah, just a cool ass scene in The Acolyte. Next up, number 4 is the mirror section in Neva. Some of the real, like, it's gonna be real hard to explain. I go play that game. It's like 3-4 hours long, but there's a small section of maybe about 15 minutes where everything is reverted. So your controls are completely reverted.
Ooh.
And you are viewing the world through a mirror. So it's essentially like a midpoint is created in the screen where your character is on one side and the mirror is on the other. And you have to control all of your movement, including fighting enemies, based on the mirror image. So left is right, up is down, like everything is mirrored. It's
Your
frustrating and
platforms,
difficult.
like your where you're trying to go.
Yeah, so stuff is like your platforms, as Kayla said, like are reflections on this mirror. So you have to look at the mirror to say like, oh, where's the distance I need to jump or the height that I need to jump. It's truly like something I've never done in a video game, and Neva is just a visually stunning game, and like in such a visually stunning game, it's also just this like little kind of man. They're in their bag right now. They're putting it all together. So I thought
mixing the environment with the gameplay for sure was really cool. Yeah,
loved it.
That's fun.
It was.
I'd probably throw up, but
it's tough too. I struggled with it, but it was a good struggle. Okay, guys, you've got to indulge me here. I've got a quote here.
No.
So this is from the film Civil War. These are two characters talking to each other. Someone in that house, they're stuck, and we're stuck. Who do you think they are? No idea. Who's giving you orders? No one's giving us orders, man. Someone is trying to kill us, and we are trying to kill them. This is the sniper battle from Civil War. The point of view characters are pinned down by a sniper in a house off in the distance, and they come across two snipers that are on the side of the field that they're on, and they're asking them like, "What's going on here? Who's fighting here? Are you what faction are you part of in the Civil War?" And it's basically the entire encapsulation of the movie, because literally the snipers on one side and the snipers on the other have no idea who either of them are. If they're what side are they fighting on in the Civil War? It's literally just, we are trying to kill each other, and that's it. That is all that matters to these people. It's a fairly short scene overall, maybe 5 minutes. There's just this like little back and forth between the reporters who are trying to get through this war zone and the combatants, and it's a scene I just think about all the time, because it's just war. It's exactly what war is just like people completely losing a thread of good, evil, any of that. It's just north, south, left, right, whatever. It's just people killing people who can't even see each other. And it ends in someone killing someone else. And it's
Thanks.
It's insane. So I'm going to just put...
They have to run back to the warehouse for the PSG one.
No, they had it on them.
If they could find the M9, I would have settled everything.
Way faster. Way faster.
Couldn't find it. It's tricky.
They probably just didn't have the heartbeat monitor gun. Like, they probably couldn't find.
Yeah.
Indulge me once more, guys, as I bold, I think it was D's pick of "Do not make me let you down," because I'm going to do the full quote here. An old friend has challenged me to remember this view of Earth, how vast it is versus how small we make it. Charles Xavier entrusted me with his dream, and it does not ask you to love or embrace my kind as your own, but merely to accept that this is a shared world with a common future, and that my kind, like yours, have a right to live in it. I am trying to be better. Please do not make me let you down. That's Magneto as he holds up like the United Nations above the world, looking down on Earth. This is a children's show.
No, it ain't.
No, it ain't.
I don't think it anymore.
And holy shit, guys. I think I've cried twice watching moments. This is my number 2, and number 1 also is that. And getting a little emotional as I talk about this, but I did not, going into X-Men 97, I thought it was going to be real fucking cool. And it was, but it was so much more than that. And I think that scene early on. That's episode like 2 or 3 of the season. Just that speech from Magneto is so powerful and just such a like encapsulation of like the core idea of X-Men, of mutants and humans and Magneto and Charles and everything else. And D, thank you for nominating it, and thank you guys for letting me quote it.
X-Men's cool.
It's so good.
So let's put it in the top 5.
yeah, I think so.
Got a lot of superhero moments up there.
A lot of X-Men
strange.
related.
Well, we've got to get.
I think we should only have like one of them.
So I've got one more. I'm writing it in right now. So this is from Shrinking season 2. It's basically the final season or final scene of Shrinking season 2. I hope the end of the series. I didn't think it needed a season 2, but it was a really good season 2. Hopefully they cut it here, but I wrote sitting on the bench picking lives. And Lewis, played by Brett Goldstein of what's the other Apple TV show?
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso fame. He killed Jimmy's wife. He was a drunk driver. And one day he drunk drove and killed Jimmy's wife. And his life has gone. Both of their lives have become awful since then. Jimmy has spiraled into a depression, and that's what Shrinking is about. Jimmy is played by Jason Segel. He's a psychiatrist, but he's a really bad at his job essentially, and he's trying to get through his own trauma by helping others, but he's just flailing. And we meet Lewis
Jimmying it.
He's jimmying it, and we meet Lewis in season 2 unexpectedly. He wasn't in season 1. We never know who did this thing to Jimmy and his family, and throughout the course of the season, they run into each other. They have this really antagonistic scene together where they let it all out. Jimmy says, "Don't ever fucking get anywhere near my family ever again." And it seems like it's fine. Like Lewis is getting on with his life, Jimmy's going to get on with his life, and that's going to be fine. This episode is called The Last Thanksgiving because it takes place on Thanksgiving. And Jimmy goes to this party, has a good time with his family and friends, and Lewis is invited to a party. He's about to go, and they find out that he did this thing. He killed someone, and they say, "Man, it wouldn't be cool if you come here." So Lewis is like, "Okay, I get it." So he goes to this train station that him and his fiance, they've broken up because this happened. They used to sit on this bench and pick people out in the world and say like, "Oh, what does that person do? What's their story?" And they had this fun little thing. And Lewis is trying to like get up the nerve to keep living, essentially. And he decides that it's not worth it anymore. So he walks up to the yellow line. The train's coming. He's gonna jump and kill himself. And the last possible second, Jimmy shows up and says like, "Hey man, what you doing? Let's sit on this bench." And they do the thing. They do the like, let's pick out people thing. Like they just pick people out at random and do this little cute thing that his wife used to do with him, or his fiance used to do with him. And just a couple scenes earlier, like Jimmy hated this. This is a guy who killed his wife, and Lewis wanted to kill himself, and they come to a realization that like they're just two dudes just like flailing at life, and they're going to figure it out together. And they play this little game of like kind of making fun of people on the train platform. And that's kind of how it wraps up. And yeah, it was a lot. It was a really emotional like moment and so good. And like Jason Segel is like as much of a goofball as he can be, and he is in this show, like he really gets down to this like emotional level in Shrinking, and Brett Goldstein is used very sparingly. He's not in a ton of it, but just really, really good. So yeah.
Great fucking pick.
Yeah, it's
Powerful.
it's great. I highly recommend like everyone check out Shrinking on Apple TV. It's really worth it. Yeah, so that's my pick.
Cool.
Anyway,
Before you get any further, so I say I have to bow out, but I trust you guys to pick the top 5. Thank you for letting me gush all over Refantasio. That was my main point. So, whatever you guys choose, I trust you.
We will not let you down.
we won't.
And if you do, I'll just put you on the disappointments list. So, all right, love you guys.
Love you too, man.
All right.
Love you too.
Cheers.
All right.
All right. Let's pick ourselves
Let's get a top
a
5.
top 5 here. So Don't Make Me Let You Down was nominated twice. We also have The Name's Gambit, Remember It, nominated twice. So 2 from X-Men 97. That would be unprecedented, I think. We'll see what happens here. And the Fox Heroes Final Stand as well had kind of 2 nominations. I know Mike is bristling on that a little bit, but you know, Mike, you're also on mute, you know, but so what
Disappointment.
we have a huge list. What do we want to kind of poke at here? We've got
Cannon Attack.
the Cannon Attack from Shogun. Ryan, you also saw Shogun as well.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Cannon Attack?
It was great. It was fantastic. Yeah, our moments are different, but I don't know. The seppuku stuff was so. It was so
The seppuku stuff too.
not because it was just so intense. It's just like what was actually happening was so important
Right.
to the show in so many ways, to like character arcs and just whatever. I mean, not to say the canon stuff was not fantastic, because it absolutely was. The whole show was fantastic.
the whole show,
so-
right? Exactly. I want something from the show. Was kind of
But man, I mean, it just had me thinking, like, could I have done that? You know, would I have done that?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those very similar to my like scene from The Acolyte, where I thought Hiramatsu was gonna like make it the whole way, or at least like go out fighting. You know, like he's such a badass, but to kind of sacrifice himself that way in a kind of a nothing moment. Not a nothing moment. That's a bad way to put it. But like,
it was.
moment that wasn't fighting. You know, right?
Yeah, but it was
battle.
I mean, again, yeah, like it was a battle all on its own of, you know, putting his honor before that glory. That
Trust.
it's so good. Yeah,
sacrifice.
yeah,
Telling
so
his
good.
son, "You'll know what it means to be denied," is so powerful. Holy fuck! I was like, "Oh my god, Jesus!" And then,
But guys, imagine John Cena dressed up like Alice Cooper.
you're right.
And to the tune of School's Out, splooge on my stomach. Come on.
That's so good.
Like,
Oh god, I'm watching this movie tonight.
like,
Me too.
I hate-
I gotta see it.
I hate to also advocate for that being in our top 5, but I mean, we don't like that's. It's hilarious.
It's so good. I mean, right now, it's sitting at number 5 right now on the list. Ooh, baby, I masturbate is what I put down. But
I want mirror section.
the mirror section from Neva.
Neva's good.
I'll
It's
That
pretty.
part's really good.
I'll put it near the top there. There's
I thought it was really good in Neva when it almost made my list. So Neva's like at the beginning of it. Neva is the dog character, and it's really small. And then you move on to the next season, and Neva has grown large and and actually helps you in combat. And you're doing this thing where you're gonna kill a boss, and you're striking. You're doing like a Zelda, like Link strike down with your sword onto the boss. And it's you need a little help, and she cries, Neva! And then the dog just fucking starts going to town and biting the shit out of the bosses. And you're just like stabbing it, and you're just and it's a really cool, like, visceral moment. And that was my kind of like, yeah, this is my favorite part of Neva. But the Mirror World is really cool. Visual, like, the combat sections mixed with the platforming, you know, like, because it has to like click in your mind, like, wait, is that showing me something I can't see? Then it all clicks, and you're kind of off to the races after that. But man, really cool game, Neva. I would not be upset to see it in the 5.
I mean, Eric came me convinced with this whole, breakdown of the Shrinking season 2. Oh my god! I mean, that is also an amazing moment for me as well. It's so strong because I've just there's moments in my life that maybe not that intense thing happened, but conversations being had with people, just like, wow, too many good scenes on this list. It's really hard to.
Let's just have Eric make the whole 5. You're right.
No, I mean, like,
whatever.
So I will say I would feel very, as long as like the "do not make me let you down" is locked in, the Magneto scene, I will feel very like seen on the list, and everything else can be.
That's to me when Magneto's a punk ass. And then he becomes a real badass later on when he fucking reverses the Earth's polarities or whatever the fuck he does and handles that shit. And
it's cool. He EMPs the world.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think spectacle, but like as a moment, as a narrative moment, it don't hit the same.
Yeah, but Charles is wrong.
He's trying, but Magneto's trying. He says it. I'll read it again, Mike. I'll read it. No.
Charles is wrong, and Deadpool's wrong too. I said it.
Fox Heroes Final Stand, I think, needs to be on this list.
I think we can't have 3. I think we cannot have 3.
That's what we got.
We can have.
That's all we have.
We have to eliminate one of them. My vote is for My Name's Gambit. Remember it, because we have, or if I guess I'll. Well, I also want to keep Fox Heroes Final Stand, so that one stays. That one stays, so and we have to decide which one from X-Men '97 we want to remove.
Oh, Fox Heroes Final Stand is moved up to number 1. Okay. Bold choice.
Damn, Mike, you and I am nominated. How do you feel about that right now? Look at his face right now. He's just like.
The only reason I say that is there's 2 from X-Men '97. We have to eliminate 1. We can only have 1 from X-Men '97.
I like the '97s. How about that?
We can't have 2.
Why not? It would, like Eric said, unprecedented. Let's do new bold things. 4th year.
I want to talk a little bit about Rook's Rest, if we could, and the death of Rhaenys. I'm so glad Mike brought it up.
Great
from
moment.
House of the Dragon.
I'd let Rook's Rest be up there in the top 5.
I also agree that Rhaenys was the best character from that show, and it also was devastating that she passed, and in the way she passed, the final look of we're dying right now between her and her dragon, Meleys, I believe.
Meleys.
Yeah.
Meleys.
That was also the look. I think I turned to Kayla and said, "Fuck, they're killing Rhaenys right now. This sucks." So I'd also want that to maybe be a part of this list, maybe. I don't know. Mike, let's talk about Ricky Stenicki. Are we gonna have are we gonna have Ricky Stenicki on this list? I love it.
No.
No, okay.
No, I needed it to be on my 5. I thought it was like just funny. It's really funny.
It's really good.
I think Cena's he's to spoil maybe a discussion later, but he has a part in The Bear this year, and he's in that Jackpot movie, right? I like Cena. I like his comedic chops for sure.
Yeah.
I really enjoy him way more than The Rock. Let's put it that way.
Oh, 10 times, I
Yeah.
think, at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting there. We're getting there.
We're getting there. So right now we have Fox Heroes Final Stand. I don't think we're going to keep that at number 1, let's just say, but it's there from Deadpool and Wolverine.
That can't be number 1.
I don't
No,
think
it's
it
not.
can.
It's not number 1.
Just for the sake of
For visuals.
we'll put it at 5 here because I think
Yeah,
that's
put
probably
it next to Ricky where it belongs.
So we've got the name's Gambit, Remember It from X-Men 97. Do Not Make Me Let You Down from X-Men 97. Hiramatsu committing seppuku in Shogun. Rook's Rest and Rhaenys' Death in House of the Dragon. And Fox Heroes Final Stand in Deadpool and Wolverine. We could talk about where they go. Do we want? Is this a decent number? Like a decent 5? Do we want something off? And
Do we want
to X-Men 97 would be
from
unprecedented.
Civil War?
Love that movie, but we'll get to that
Yeah,
maybe later.
I like a lot
Yeah.
of the moments, on here. We
There's
do have like 2
nominations
Yeah.
as moments. I
Man.
also like
The
the
sandworm
sniper
moment.
battle.
Sniper battle was compelling, for real.
Going
I
on
do,
hot ones.
yeah.
Just kidding.
The Garp moment's really cool. A
The
lot
guard
of,
moment's really good.
lot of cool
yeah.
shit happening there.
Too many good moments, man. I'm okay with honestly the way it looks now, but it's really hard actually. I think this might be the hardest of the 3.
Yeah, because we're just so spoiled for choice with moments this year. Throughout all the mediums that we usually consume. Usually it does tend to like trend one way or the other. I think, like especially in the previous NOTYs, it seems to be like more like we had some really great game moments, or we had some really good movie moments, or like the year you guys were like just smashing like TV shows after TV shows. Like they had like a chokehold on the best moments.
Mhm.
But this year is just so spread out. Like TV, games, like movies, all kind of like showed out this year, and it shows in this list. Period.
So
I would say for my money, I would love to get a game up in the top 5 if we could agree on one.
okay. That's
I'm
smart.
kind of with you on that. We had a very strong.
And I nominate the
Yeah.
moment Tomas decided to stop playing Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Oh fuck!
I nominate.
which I think is a very powerful moment for him and for his growth as a gamer and a man going forward.
We really only have what 3?
Neva.
Oh, we got Neva.
Yeah, Neva.
Yeah, that's right.
Neva's
I forgot
very
about
good.
Neva.
Wow.
Man, Ricky.
The
Stenicki
one
just-
Tomas mentioned, I think the King's Funeral.
Right. So we do have some video games on here. So I've made the decision. It's just visual right now to split the difference on the X-Men 97 of it all. I kept the name's Gambit, Remember It on the list, along with Hiramatsu Seppuku from Shogun, Rook's Rest from House of the Dragon, the Sniper Battle from Civil War I moved up because we were kind of talking about it, and Fox Heroes Final Stand, which is locked in at number 5 and not moving, from Deadpool and Wolverine. But if we want some video game representation, we can keep talking here. We can keep moving things around.
Such a Sophie's
Yeah.
choice.
Everybody likes
Predicament.
the sniper battle more than they like what kind of American are you, Jesse Plemons?
The only thing that scene's wonderful. Like, Jesse Plemons is one of my favorite actors working right now. That scene is super powerful. It's powerful despite
Obviously know
being
what
in the
your
trailer.
choice is.
Well, sure, yeah, I guess I should. I was just gonna say, like, we saw that in the trailer versus like the sniper battle was like new when you see it. But anyway,
You see so much. There's so much.
It's
more
hard 'cause, like,
involved.
There's so many great. It's all like little moments
They're
throughout
racing
sprinkled throughout the
before.
whole movie. When they get to that weird town that's like under government surveillance, and it's like, we don't really get involved in that war stuff. That was a cool scene. The scene for me is kind of like the smoke grenade scene, where they're trying to get that guy out from behind that pillar, and it's just so raw. Like, just getting, the breaking, the war at the Capitol, like all that shit going down, and just like, God, man, it's tough to pick just one moment from that.
Yeah.
From that.
To me, for the Jesse Plemons one, it's just so much. That's so like as much.
It
like
sells
I said,
the
we
movie.
Yeah.
We ask ourselves that every day. Like, I can see that shit happening. If Civil War is happening, like, that is going to be what I have to deal with. That.
I'm fine with swapping them if that's like what you'd prefer, Kayla. Like, what kind of American swapping?
That's the
with
one I chose.
Sniper
I
battle?
want other people's.
No, yeah.
You keep the moment I
Opinion.
stop playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth out of here. Get out of here.
I felt obviously since we're in America, I think the what kind of American are you is a stronger choice personally. If I had to choose one, even though the battle's just as good. Damn. Right now, with the three we have solidified, bolded. I just a real quick voice here. What does everyone feel like they could do without? Which one of those three bolded ones do you think
Well, I
you
moved
can live without?
Do Not Make Me Let You Down X-Men
Okay.
97 out of
Got
the
it,
top
got it.
5, and not that it has to stay out, but just as the Sophie's choice of X-Men 97 between
Okay.
the two, it seemed like maybe there was a little more juice for Gambit. I don't know.
I think Magneto has
Maybe,
better
though.
moments. I
Oh, I
think,
see.
man, just Gambit feeling like such a cuck leading up to that, and like all the stuff happening with Rogue and Magneto, and like, God, man, I don't know.
The aftermath too of Rogue, like
Yeah.
with his body and everything, like.
Yeah.
That's why I feel
It just-
comfortable. As much as I spoke up on Magneto in that scene, like, I still feel very comfortable personally of like the Gambit scene being there.
Yeah, Eric, it's one of the two things that made you tear up this year. Don't let it go. So easy. No, I'm kidding. Man, difficult.
I
I'm
felt
okay
real
with it.
weird. I didn't cry at the Gambit scene, but I remember us watching that and just feeling like a little empty when that episode ended. Just be like, holy shit, like that happened. So it also made me emotional, just in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to swap Rook's Rest with like Neva?
Okay.
Or
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
and
I can.
maybe we have it.
Okay. Let's see what that looks like here. We take Rook's Rest out of the top 5, and this is what a top 5 would look like if we decide this. We could still do some ordering, maybe, we'll see, but right now we have the name's Gambit, Remember It, from X-Men 97, the Hiramatsu Seppuku from Shogun, the Mirror Section from Neva, What Kind of American Are You from Civil War, and Fox Heroes Final Stand from Deadpool and Wolverine. For me, I'd maybe I'd maybe put the Hiramatsu Seppuku for me personally. I'd put it at like 4 under like the Neva and Civil War, but I don't know if the order doesn't maybe matter as much. I don't know. How do we feel as
I'd
number
probably
one?
put
being
Gambit
number
lower.
1? Okay.
Yeah, I agree with
Nah.
Kayla on that one.
I'd probably put Civil War as 1.
Okay, Caleb puts Civil War 1. What does everyone else think about Civil War 1?
That's not my best
I
moment
don't
of the year,
like
so
it.
absolutely
Not my
not.
best moment.
Okay. So mirror
I
section
like
from
Gambit
Neva.
right where it's at.
I'm okay with that as well.
Okay. We've got an okay with Gambit. Gambit should be number 1. What Ryan D? What do you think?
I was saying okay to mirror section.
Oh, mirror section number 1. Okay.
That's what you said.
Okay.
That's not what we heard.
I love mirror section. I'd be fine with it number 1, but I don't know. If that's
I
a
don't know.
consensus. Yeah.
Anything about Neva, so I'm going to go with the opinions on that one. I've been hearing nothing but good things about the game, so
Let's give Ricky another chance here. Since we're really just.
Yeah, he went
You
way
know,
down. He's way down there now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can barely see him. Poor guy.
Well, we like number 5, right? That one's staying there.
I like the
I
Fox
like
Heroes
that as a
number
5.
Yeah.
Do we like
Compromise.
Civil War at 4?
yeah, I like that. I think it looks good the way it is. I think it's very strong.
I like our little X-Men sandwich we got going on there.
X-Men sandwich.
That's true.
Okay.
I don't hate it. I don't hate this list. Neva getting up to number 3, I should feel happy about, honestly. I should feel happier than I'm
You
letting
should.
on. I really should.
Weird, because I feel more strongly about the Hiramatsu Seppuku stuff than the Gambit.
I can't put it at number 1 just because I don't know that it's my number 1 even from that series. It's a great
Absolutely.
scene, but
Yeah. Too many good scenes.
Here's my argument for why we should keep Gambit at number 1.
Okay.
Just generally speaking.
Here we go.
When that scene came out, it was earlier this year, right?
Oh yeah.
Like super early this year. We are talking about this thing like it happened yesterday.
Mm.
We are talking like the scene happened like a few days ago. Like that, and that how we talked about it after it happened and how we're talking about it now, that tone has not changed. And that
It was like a jaw on the floor moment
Yeah.
for me just after that happened. I remember us just like, whoa, this isn't the X-Men I grew up with. This is something different. And I don't know. I was just like, wow, there's gonna be more of this. Like how do they top
what
this?
more are they gonna do? Yeah.
Like, man, I was just really impressed by that and what they were able to pull off. I think it deserves to be number 1.
Kayla, you're nodding your head. You feel okay with
I'm
number
okay
1?
with that. Yeah.
I think I feel good at Gambit being number 1. That's Ryan. You
Yeah.
might be the last holdout. No, you good with Gambit?
Yeah, I could make that sacrifice like Gambit did. Absolutely.
All right.
Oh, you're so kind.
So we're locking in number
Hey,
1. And we
Ryan.
got number 5 locked in. Any movement between 2 and 3? Hiramatsu Seppuku, mirror section from Neva, and what kind of American are you from Civil War?
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it looks good.
That's the list. And best moment of 2024 for the Nonsense of the Year Awards, we have The Name's Gambit, Remember It, from X-Men 97 in the number 1 slot, followed by Hiramatsu Seppuku from Shogun, the mirror section from Neva, and What Kind of American Are You from Civil War? Finally, Fox Heroes' Final Stand in Deadpool and Wolverine, rounding out the best moments of 2024. All right, so we are on the final category of the NOTYs 2024, the most disappointing thing. Tomas has left us. He wasn't cool with our wardrobe changes. That's the weird part about Tomas. He's just not into wardrobe changes. So he hates my weed hat. that I'm wearing. So we're doing most disappointing. Tomas has graciously given me his. He gave me 6 instead of a top 5. He gave me a bonus one. Some of his are existential, like they always are. So let's
Typical Tomas fashion.
typical Tomas fashion. I'm gonna start.
Last category for today, also, to be clear. 'cause
Day
we
2.
still have more categories.
That's right. Sorry, I should have mentioned last category of day 2. We still have day 3, folks. We still have day 3. All right. Tomas's least disappointing, bottom disappointing, finishing MASH. And I'll read his commentary here.
Damn.
There's a mash-shaped hole in my soul. It was Tomas's. So finishing MASH, very disappointing for Mr. Tomas.
I wish I could do an Alan Alda impression, but I don't got it.
Oh, I'm sure you got that in your bag. Next up for Tomas was a Cactuar statue side quest cutoff from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So Tomas had this to say about it. I feel like I was gaslit. Whole game, I could complete every chapter 100% until they pulled that comeback later for this quest shit. Felt like falling down a flight of stairs mentally. We'll see if there's a lot of Final Fantasy VII in disappointing. We'll see. Tomas's next one is the fight with Eddie in Silent Hill 2. So he had this to say: shit was hard. Man that large should not be that fast. More frustrating than disappointing, I guess. I can't bold this.
I think Tomas is disappointed with himself on that one.
I mean, I gotta say, I can't bold it because I didn't put it on my list, but that fight sucked.
Can concur.
That fight sucks. That game's bosses battles are fun, and that fight sucks. I don't know. Good game. All right, next up for Tomas is the remixed music in Persona 3 Reload. Original soundtrack just slapped. Should have just used that instead of butchering a few iconic tracks. D, did you play that one?
I didn't play that one.
Okay.
I just watched a lot of live streams of that one.
Well,
I have it downloaded.
oh, there you go. Well, let me know how the
Probably will
music
never
is,
play it.
You asshole.
I'm never gonna.
I'm gonna play it. It just wasn't happening last year.
I kind of figured, yeah. All right, next up for Tomas, not getting a Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater release date. Big disappointed.
That did suck.
He said, just got myself super hyped for it, especially after doing the MGS2 disc dive. So I think we could all concur that Delta, it was one of us drafted it, I believe. So no.
It was him.
Tomas did.
Oh well, you know, that's probably disappointed. Okay, last one. Tomas's most existential one and final bonus one is you guys not saying hi to Lyrla.
Oh no!
So this one's an inside joke. Josh Lyrla, if you're viewing, listening, anything out there to this podcast, hi man. We fucked up. We should have said hi. But
That guy really looks like Josh Lyerla.
but we'll remember this for the rest of our lives. So,
Next time I think a guy looks like Josh Lyerla, I'm going to assume it is Josh Lyerla.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should do that from
Lesson
now on.
learned.
AKA Big Jim.
Yeah, Big Jim, the fishing man. Hell yeah. Our biggest fan. Cheers to you, Josh Lyerla. We apologize. All right, on to Kayla's list. Most disappointing.
Disappointing. Number 5, I have Stalker 2.
Damn.
I had Stalker 2 on my list for a different reason for a very long time. I thought that I was really blown away by the way they do the environment and the way that they make you feel in the game. Like, when you drink liquor you get hot eyes. You like really feel like you are drunk. The visions around you are drunk. When you're in an area that's a radiation area, it's not just the noise, like the visuals change. So much is very impressive what they do. And even there's this fight, the guns jam, and it's so realistic. And I'm like, dang, this is really cool. This like end battle. Eric was very frustrated, but he's fighting this boss, and I'm like, man, this is like really hard. But he's like running out of ammo. He's got to like find guns. It's like really realistic. It feels cool. And then like 30 more hours happened of the game, or at least it felt like. So it was kind of like they could have got away with like 3 games out of what we had here. There were like so many bad like so many ways that the story went. Like they could have ended it at this point and it was really good, but they just kept going.
Put it down as Stalker too long, am I right?
Yeah, good. I like that.
Yeah.
Number 4. You guys might remember this thing long ago called Night Country.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah. Not that it was bad, but I had high hopes.
Started so strong. Oh man.
And it had really strong lines, but didn't go anywhere with them.
So
I really thought that one had just the last, not even just the final episode, like half of the season, like it was just limped to the finish line.
So good though.
Yeah. The first few, I was really bought in. I mean, until like they really were just like, I don't know. They just didn't have anything to say to me at the end of that one. And
yeah, it got confusing. Like they were just trying too hard to make it kooky, and nothing fit really well. And I would have rather them just keep it simple. And it's spooky enough. The setting was cool enough. But anyways,
would you say that True Detective Night Country is only all right country?
Oh my God.
Okay, good. I'm glad you approve.
Yeah,
I hate country.
That's how I feel. My reaction is exactly how I feel about the show, so I wanted to put it out there like that. Number 3.
Can we do Ite Country?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, we're doing Ite Country.
Midnight Country.
Mid-Ite. Mid-Ite Country.
I love you.
It's only.
I like this part the best. I really like out pun each
I'm glad
other. This
I
is
didn't
great.
name mine. I didn't name them, so.
Oh, don't worry. We'll
can
come with
have
the puns.
fun with
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. I left it up. Number 3. Another one that I had in a different place on the list for a while, and it was shuffling around at the last minute here, is Trap. I originally had Best Moments Trap trailer specifically.
Ooh, good trailer.
That trailer was fucking dope. Shit was so good. But overall, Trap was disappointing. It trapped me. I got trapped. Shit. Did you get trapped? I don't know.
There's just a point where it jumps a shark and then it jumps 4 sharks and then it just the sharks just keep compounding.
They move. The coolest part of the trap is no longer what is happening. So whatever. Number 2, Arcane. We know I liked episode 1. The rest of the show, not so good. Bummer. Number 1, I have The Bear.
Ooh.
Oh.
You guys liked this season? You guys got something out of this? Can anybody tell me what the fuck happened in this? I mean, Carmi quit smoking. Right? Okay, I got that.
The Sydney stuff with just not knowing what to do and feeling like
But
you
no-
hitched
but-
your wagon
But
to
we the season ended with
Right, yeah.
nothing that had it didn't give us anything on that. I really liked
It is
her and her dad when she was looking for a new apartment. I really liked that. I almost put that on my moments. I felt it just tell me the truth. It's a daddy-daughter moment, you know. But
Carmi's clash with Joel McHale didn't do it for you
nope.
at the end. No, wow.
I just feel like it's completely unfinished. They're
stretching it for sure.
They just put episodes out and didn't tell a story. Didn't finish the story.
I feel that, but there's this felt like a build-up season. It didn't feel like stuff was supposed to happen. And we got 2 back-to-back seasons of stuff really fucking happening. So I can feel why you didn't walk away with something meaningful from it, because it just didn't. I just don't think that's what this season was about big emotional swings or character turns, but building up and showing us the consequences and aftermath of those 2 very high intensity seasons, leading us into a 4th one. I don't know what they're gonna do, because I kind of feel the same way of I don't really see where they're going, but I do feel like that's fair, but a little harsh in my opinion, because I don't know.
Give me 2 more episodes or something. I don't know. It costs a lot of money to make a season.
I kind of feel so. Let's just second season is opening the restaurant, and what an accomplishment all of that was. And then this season is kind of, well, we did it, now what? We just have to keep doing this every day. And I kind of like that stuff. Richie kind of just not being able to be Forks Richie every day. That is such an impossible thing to do. I kind of get that. And then how do you follow up 2 perfect seasons of a TV show? How do you keep that up? And
been its biggest fan, so you've gotta you've gotta give me something. I feel like you were just word vomit at this point of shit.
Before we go,
you didn't
too
the
far,
expanded back universe?
Oh,
That was the only good part. Give me comedy, that's fine. Comedy you can give me all day. You don't need to always have stuff, but that's the Bears thing is it's story, it's writing, it's blah blah blah, but I just felt very it just felt like it lingered and gave me no answers.
I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves. We didn't do puns for Trap, Arcane, or the Bear. What the fuck, guys?
Kayla had little time for Arcane. She was just let's move on from that.
Shit was mid-eye, and I'm moving on. Right, exactly.
We got trapped by Trap. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. Arcane season 2 kind of blue. Okay. The Bear season 3 is PP. I need to know if these are good buns. All right.
You got it. You got it, pal.
All right. Good.
PP, really good pun.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Yeah.
so good.
Leave me on a cliffhanger of what Sydney decided. If you could have at least given me her decision in the final episode, I would have been satisfied. So how about I say they didn't land the plane or something like that.
But then how do I make that season 3 is PP? That doesn't. No, I need to know.
I'm just going back to my
I know.
my problem with it, my take.
Yeah,
no, I get it.
No,
I just
I
felt like
understand.
that's
it is
real.
not
That's
the
it.
best.
That's
Yeah.
I think I agree with you like 90%.
I don't want to say I
85%,
didn't
something like
like
that.
it. Like the image I put in mine is like Carmi's friend who had the super glow up. It's not Evan Peters, but the other chef.
Oh yeah, from Midsommar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like him
Should
and
have been
Sydney.
Pennywise.
Like I also would have liked a little bit more of that. Like
I liked him at the dinner, but
Mhm.
yeah, that's good.
I think there was highlights of the season. It's hard
Right.
for me to say bad things about a show that I love and just characters that I like being around, even if it's not the best. It's not the best. It ain't. But I still enjoyed having them this year in a. Well, I'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll talk later. Well, Mike, you
My
get
final take
Oh,
is
okay.
just that there was the ending was left with lack of ending.
Okay.
All right. Mike, you get to add to the list here. What are your disappointments of 2024?
Okay. Number 5, a little bit of overlap with Kayla here. I have the Shyamalans. 3 of them, Ishana, director of The Watchers, M. Night, director of Trap, and Stalika, the star of Trap, his other daughter. And man, I thought Watchers was so cool. I kind of like people just being trapped in a place and not knowing what's outside. And, chances are you're going to be disappointed once you find out what's outside. But fairies, come on, fairies.
Hey, man.
they're my fairies. I thought the ending was at least
Faye, at least.
generic. I'm not sure.
No one knows. No one knows.
All right.
Trap. M. Night has been on a real hot streak for me lately. Loved Knock at the Cabin. I think Old is like a classic. I don't know. I really like that movie.
Big ups,
This, like,
mid-sized
yeah,
sedan.
it's man. Rebel Ridge guy.
Hell
now,
yeah.
man, blown up. Trap is a terrible film. It is very, very bad.
Damn.
I don't know what Hartnett's doing in it. He's trying to be Norman Bates mixed with, like just normal dad, I guess. And man, just M. Night's never subtle. He's never just the times when it's just like when he's like finding out what's happening and just the stupidity, the stupid things that all work out for him to just get out of every situation in this movie. And then for this movie just to really be a marketing for his daughter's music career. And then, which would have been fine. Her music, she should have stayed on the stage. Then she becomes the central character of the third act. And I don't know, her face is so distracting. She is a Bratz doll. She's got these big eyes that are just not
Very shiny
possible.
lips.
They're impossible. They're not right. And I don't know. They shoehorn in another way for her to have a singing portion at the end, and for him to just get out of it over and over, like it's not great. So that's my number 5. All of the Shyamalans.
So the Sham Alans.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now we're back on track.
Yeah, we're there. Yeah.
My number 4 is Pokemon Pocket.
Oh.
The trading card game. This thing's just a bummer, especially when you think of what the Game Boy Color version is and they're trying to do the same thing, but without, the overworld and actually going around and having fun, collecting cards. They didn't want that part in this.
Well, you
They just want you to spend money and collect, pegs, and they do let you battle, but then they ruined the card game. They make it 20 cards. They made it Hearthstone style, where you just get a mana or an energy card per turn, and if you go first, you're at an incredible disadvantage because you're not able to do anything on turn one. You don't get an energy on turn one. And anytime you lose that coin flip or win the coin flip, quote unquote, I just feel like, man, I should just concede at this point. There's when you open packs, you get 2 packs a day, 2-pack a day habit. And there's times when I open a pack, I get 3 of the same card in my 5-card pack. And that just feels shitty to just get 3. Like, I've opened, how many Tauroses I have, Eric? I have a herd, my friend. I have 8 Tauroses. Okay.
I thought he was one of your favorite characters, Tauros, this year,
I hate him. Down with Nora. Just a real bummer. I still log into it every day because I have a disease and I'm trying to get all of the mythical beach cards. I only need a few more. And when I think of what I want from a Pokemon card game, this ain't it. This ain't it at all.
Dang.
Pocket monster disappointment. Yeah,
Sure,
they're not all great. They're not all great.
Number 3 is Nintendo just punting this year. This kind of, Tomas was a little disappointed that Delta didn't up his draft board. I'm disappointed I didn't get that Mario game this year when I felt like we should have. They started off pretty strong with the remaster of Thousand Year Door. And then, Peach Showtime was mid. Brother apparently sucked. I thought that was going to be pretty cool. And really not like a Mario Party thrown in there. But you couldn't throw us Metroid Prime 2. You couldn't give us the Wind Waker, Twilight Prince. You couldn't just fill out the year with some stuff that we know you have finished already. Guess they like I said, they decided to punt and just hopefully have, full offense in 2025 with the launch of the Switch 2. But still felt bad to be a Switch owner in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, though, to have a lull before new hardware.
Man,
Makes me
like,
at least
but
feel like maybe we will get it. Maybe. I mean, I'm still holding my breath. I won't believe it until I see it.
Yeah, I just remember that like the PS2 had a swan. God of War 2 was one of the last great PS2 game. Before the PS3 came, and I feel like you should try to bookend a console as strong as you can, and they're not doing it. I don't think.
Nintendo punts 2024, and we wanted more. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mickey, you're so funny. Guys, you probably heard Jimmy Carter passed away, 100 years old. Shout out to Jimmy. Aubrey Plaza's husband just tragically, passed away. But there's another death. I don't know that you guys know about. TV. TV is dead. It's done. Had a good run from 2020 to 2024. For me, at least, was 5-time champion. And you can't win them all, but it just seems like the stuff that I loved, the big prestige kind of things might be done for. And then the stuff this year that was supposed to fill that gap, like the Penguin and Night Country, Shogun, just didn't click with me. Didn't work with me. Shows that I did like, I recently finished like Creature Commandos, which doesn't, but it didn't finish until January, so can't really compete for this list. But any other year, Creature Commandos wouldn't even be able to sniff, with it doesn't punch up with a Barry, a Res Dogs, good bear seasons. And just, man, could not connect with TV hardly at all this year. So come on, Punisher, give me that. What do you got?
TV is DED. Yeah. Dead.
Great.
TV is DED. Dead.
Yeah. My number one.
Here we go.
Is myself.
Oh.
For letting Square trick me into wasting a lot of time. This goes back to Final Fantasy 15, which I put about 58 hours into, finish the game. Dog shit game. Just a dog shit game. Turn the clock, 2020, I believe. Final Fantasy VII Remake, this game everyone's always wanted forever. And really cool battle system, great characters, long as shit fucking game. Like, just should not have been as long as it was. And by the end of it, I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing here? And then when you do finish it, and then just not gelling with, not knowing, I guess I've come to terms with it now, but just that feeling of, what the hell are they doing? Who is that? What's going on? Like, what? And then them being like, no, this is more of a reimagining. And I wish they had reimagined a good game for Rebirth. It is just like,
Rebirth for a reason,
man.
Right?
This is the bear, but like 100-hour season 3. What are you doing here? What is this game? What are you doing? Like, it's like Phantom Pain levels of when am I getting story here? Like, when am I gonna get something mean? I'm just diddling around, just fucking doing dumb shit, playing card games here, doing the stupid fucking Cactar side quests, doing every little Ubisoft treasure hunt bullshit around this whole fucking game. And then just like, what? Just trying to find Sephiroth, like just doing this wild goose chase. And man, by the end, and it has a Kingdom Hearts level of just 20 forms of a boss. And it's just so fucking stupid. You lose against one form, you go back 5 forms. The checkpoints make no fucking sense.
Oh, you lost.
The puzzles for that shit. Oh my god. They make you play as Aerith, who just can't run. She can't fucking run. She's extremely malnourished, I guess. I have no idea. And they force you to play as this stupid fucking character. The constant just switching back and forth of materia and shit. And even when you make it, like, you can make kind of quick swap things, it just fucking sucks, man. I really hated Rebirth, but I can't blame the game, because I did it. I bought into the hype. I saw the trailer and I was like, wow, look at Cloud leaping through the air. That's wow. Look at that. He's clashing with Sephiroth. Classic shit, man. Give me that. I'm a fucking idiot. I bought it. And now for Square to just, oh, it was disappointing sales. Well, I wish I hadn't fucking gave you a single dollar, you pieces of shit. And Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Oh, I thought.
From now on with them, it's Chrono Trigger or bust for them.
Oh, that's
Not fucking with none of their shit. No more.
I thought we were gonna get this from Tomas, but you brought it. So how do you like this one, Mike? Square Enix kicks Mike square in the penix.
Bravo.
Wow.
You finished strong.
Yeah. You know, you got to.
Actually reincarnated Shakespeare. Wow.
I try every day.
Is that Bill Shakespeare?
D, you're next. What was disappointing you in 2024?
Well, I mean, I'm this is really simple things because I just found a lot of joy in the media I consumed because real life sucked super hard a lot in 2024 for me. So I'm not as passionate about certain things, but there were some stuff that disappointed me. I wasn't a fan of not getting release date for Metal Gear Solid Delta. So you can go ahead and bold that because I also was pretty upset that we didn't get a release date. I was sure we would at least get it at the Game Awards, and then
Me too.
Nothing, not even a whisper. That hurt. Same with no Switch 2 announcement. I when I heard Brothership was coming out, I was for certain it was going to be on the next console.
Yeah.
And then when we got the coming out in October or whatever the fuck, I was like, well, shit. There goes that. Invincible.
Oh, bummer.
No good?
I just I dropped it. I was bored.
Oh wow.
It really had me, and then when we waited and the rest came out, I just I don't know, just couldn't hold my attention. I just wasn't there. I don't know if it was just I've walked this road before with Attack on Titan back in the day, and that was like 5 years apart from season 2 to season 3. And they did the same thing, broke up the season, and I think I hate that, and it just makes me uninvested in a show, period, especially a show that I was so deeply invested with and really enjoying, and then for, just kind of, I don't know, I just didn't care. I don't know, just all the investment was just gone by the time I revisited. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that show this year.
Well, I mean, and that I think it's kind of what I went through, because it had a good conflict set up, and the season ends interestingly. I revisited it after a while just to see where everything ends up, and it's they're staying very close to the source material, so it's this next season maybe you hear some buzz about it, but I just don't think it's gonna hit the same highs for the wider audience. It's gonna be just a season for people who stuck around. So
you heard it, Robert Kirkland or whatever his name is. Screw you.
Yeah, actually, stop making stuff.
Yeah.
Is that your entire
Borderlands.
disappointing list?
Yeah, actually, not Invincible season 2. Robert Kirkman specifically.
Kirkman, there we go. Not Kirkland. That's like Costco or something.
Yeah. No, it's his cheaper brother. Robert Kirkland. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to buy multiple brothers at once to get the deal. Anyway, Borderlands, the movie.
Oh no.
It was not. I couldn't even call it an adaptation of the game. It was an adaptation of the aesthetic, and even that was bad about it. There's none of the fast-paced, witty comedy. There's no character in that movie that wasn't just a cosplay, no personality, rip off. Like I felt like I had gotten the like not like the imported one with a different language I don't understand, but like the one where you go into like the secondhand store and it's like Molly, the bartender from Borderlands, and it just lacked all of the character from Borderlands, and then I mean like the OG ones, obviously, and I don't know, it felt like they were trying to make a scarier Jumanji, like the newer Jumanji, like dynamic. It was just bad. It was just a bad movie too. It didn't help that it was also just a bad movie.
Yeah, I heard it was just like cliche city.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you
and
know.
the I don't know, top to bottom, I just was not excited about it. And then I, watched it as we pirates do, and it was just not even worth memeing about. Like, yeah, and that leads me to my most hated thing of this year. That's going to be Madam Web.
Thanks for watching these things and suffering through them to put them on our list, because I thought about
Yeah.
these things and I was like, yeah, well, I don't watch them. So.
Yeah, so the Borderlands thing was morbid curiosity, which I blame myself for. And then the Madam Web thing is my daughter was running out of things to watch, and she got curious and started watching it. And then I walked into the room because I don't know any aesthetics or anything about Madam Web other than it exists and it's bad. So when I walked in the room, I'm like, oh, what show are you watching? Because it's like an EMT on screen and there's a fire. And I'm like, oh, cool. You're like watching Chicago Fire or something. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And then all of a sudden, there's just this woman on screen having a seizure future vision thing. And I'm like, oh, no, I know what this is.
Oh.
And it was too late because then I was like trying to figure out what was going on. And that was the whole movie of me literally trying to figure out what was going on. And anyone with media literacy will be like, well, you see, she had the spider thing and the bad guy wanted the spider thing and he's going to use the spider thing to do spider bad guy things. Okay, cool. Why anything? Why is anything happening in this movie? And they just keep on moving along, baby. They'll never explain why. They just keep going, well, this happened, and now this next thing happened. And she can sort of see the future, maybe, sometimes, when she's hitting her head, or sneezing, or yelling at children, or being the worst protagonist on the face of the planet ever conceived in media. If I speak anymore, I'll feel like I can't get that time back because I wish I could have. I wish this is actually one of the few things in my life I wish I could actually forget the details of everything that expired. It's just so awful. It's bad. It's really bad.
So my only taste of Madam Web was the animated series, the Spider-Man animated series.
Yeah.
Where she's just like a kooky old broad who is stuck in some weird dimension and interferes with Peter Parker's life from time to time. Does Dakota Johnson kind of become that character at all?
Mike, I'm glad you asked. Mike, I'm actually glad you asked me that. The short answer is no.
Oh,
but
no.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's the short answer.
Okay.
It's just asinine. They promoted this as like it's gonna be like all these young actresses, being superheroes in a movie. It was a shittily made horror film with superhero elements. Also, something about ancient tribe of arachnid people, which has nothing to do with Spider-Man, and also no Spider-Man. And did I mention no Spider-Man?
Isn't he technically born during the events of the movie?
Technically, some kid is born. Yes, that's true. Because they also they say, what do they say? They say Ben Parker, who is a character in the movie, and they say his wife a lot, and they never say her name, and they say his wife so many times is going, and then like I just, oh god, it hurts. It hurts my brain.
Ben Parker had a side piece. They didn't want to. They couldn't add in it because
No. So
couldn't do it.
no, I
It
mean
was
like
one of
Ben
them.
Parker is
The
like
arachnid
It
family
was Madam
cult.
Web.
Ben was
Right?
parking it.
Ben was indeed
Web of
Parker.
lies.
Ooh, web of lies. Let's keep going with this. I need more puns.
Yeah.
Isn't
I wouldn't
there
wish this movie on my greatest enemy. I'm just being super honest. I wouldn't use this as torture. Just fault it. Never show it again to anyone.
D, you should check out the "How Did This Get Made" episode on Madame Web. It's quite funny. Go check that out.
I think I have to now.
It's
I think
very
I owe it to historians.
It is very good. I think I know more about that film now between you and that podcast than I ever needed to. So it's good. I got to get the puns out for D's picks here. So had to go back to the Tomas one because it's bolded. Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater release date, just as unfinished as MGS5.
Good one.
Okay.
No.
I like it.
Nope.
I like it.
All right. He also got the No Switch 2 blues. Invincible Season 2 will bore you. Borderlands the movie, more like Borderblands the poopy. Oh, he got him. And then Madame Web is a cinematic masterpiece, and D is disappointed to be wrong.
Damn.
Yeah.
How about whoever smelted it, Delta?
No, God.
So wait.
How about that one? Is that a good one?
Uh-huh.
We got anything?
I have a quick question. So we've gone from puns, right? It's just pee pee poo poo humor. Like that's some of these are puns. I will say. Some of these are just pee pee poo poo, which is fine. I don't want you saying a pee pee poo poo joke is a pun because that's not how it works.
Pun stands for pee pee poo poo pun poo 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 pee pee, right? That's what that's. I think that's. I'm doing this on the fly, all right?
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. No. Got me there. I didn't even think about the Latin root of pun.
Pee pee poo poo is default.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
You forgot about the cockadookie and the stinky stinky.
See, I'm kind of like Batman. You know, when I don't have the preparation time, I'm only okay. You know, I'm only. But give me some prep time, and this list will be great.
Man falls back to his most earliest instincts.
It's primal puns. I'm in my primal
All this
puns.
is just brings a different meaning to Pocket Monster. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
All right.
Pocket Monster disappointment. Yeah, that's what it was. Right.
Is that a monster in your pocket, or are you pee pee poo poo?
Oh my goodness gracious! All right,
Oh.
let's keep the train moving
We got
along
anything?
Let's
here.
soundtrack, Ryan.
Let's
What do you
get
got?
back.
What do you got?
I'm gonna kind of embolden a couple of these. I will say, yeah, Rebirth. Rebirth.
We've got multiple rebirths here. We got side quest shenanigans in Final
I'm
Fantasy
sorry.
VII Rebirth, and we've got Square Enix kicks Mike Square in the Penix.
Let's do that one. That one is being boldened, maybe even underlined.
Not yet.
Can I get Punix after that too? Penix
It is
Punix?
it is
That'd be too
hard to
powerful.
it's hard to reconcile with Square Enix because I've always been wary of them pretty much the entire time. They've milked that series into the ground with so many other standalone games that like really turned me off. And Remake for me was really great. I really enjoyed that game, but like thinking about it, I had this conversation with a little while ago, but thinking about that game, it will span across 3 different consoles in its entirety, and I will never ever buy a Square Enix game on a console probably ever again. I'm just gonna wait for the PC release because I won't have to deal with the graphics being subpar. having to go in performance mode. Like, the game looks beautiful, but like it has some real issues running on the PS5. I'm gonna like it to a painting, right? I feel like they had a lot of masterpieces and so many painters trying to paint one picture together that just did not work. I don't know what they were doing. The side quest, it was too long. You wanted more story, and probably the only redeeming quality about that entire game was the waifus and the music. So
Music's
yeah. I don't know. I didn't like a lot of the liberties that they chose to change from the original game. We'll see if it pays off in number 3. But I very disappointed. Not the worst thing of the year, but definitely disappointed. Mike said a lot of the terrible things that I kind of concur with. Madam Web. So I didn't want to touch it, but D inspired me to go watch it. Just with how bad it was. I was like, how bad can a movie?
No, I told you specifically
actually
not to go
get?
watch
Yeah,
it.
but that made me want to watch it even more because I like bad movies. And this is your bad movie for your bad movie levels of bad. I think might be awkward, but like a quick concussion would have better served a better purpose than watching this fucking movie. It was just that bad.
Wow.
And they pretty much used hot girls to get you to the theater and watch it, and it just ended up being the biggest dumpster fire of 2024 in terms of movies. Yeah, it was that bad.
Even that part.
Yeah,
they were just not appealing. They weren't shot appealingly. The costuming was shit. The lighting was shit. So you couldn't even appreciate the sexy people on screen because you couldn't fucking see them half the time.
Yeah, I was like, hey, Madam Web, maybe a gilf in the end. Who knows? Nope, no, not at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
33-year-old Dakota Johnson.
Old as shit. If it was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Ancient
Ancient. Yeah, so those are those two. What else do I got? The Plucky Squire. After seeing the preview of it when we first saw it, I had such high hopes for this game.
Don't put the poopy squire. Don't put the poopy squire. Don't put the poopy squire.
Do it.
But yeah, it's just a kid's game. Less so in a lot of ways. It was too easy. It was just, I don't know, a waste of time. And the aesthetic was really great. I think there was real potential, but ended up just feeling a little too generic, which is hard for me to say because I don't really call it generic, but I think the vision was there, just they didn't execute it properly, and they kind of adhered to like, let's make sure everyone can play this game. Let's not like go too hard in like a direction, which I guess I can respect. At the same time, maybe my expectations were too high for it. Let's see, Skull and Bones. I love that genre of game, but I can't wait till he comes up with some kind of fucking pun for this one. It was just really bad. Yeah, it was in development hell forever. They kept on pushing it off. I wish one sentiment someone said that they was that they wished that it was just the Assassin's Creed like Black Sails tech instead of what they had going on, and I just didn't. This wasn't fun, man. It just wasn't fun. Yeah, it was really bad. And my last but not least is Yakuza live action. As a watcher of the series, because Isadora has played pretty much every iteration. I like the story. I like the characters. I'm talking about the games, not the actual live action. And they just shat on it. Like they changed the story. The characters were uninteresting. The fighting was terrible. If you're a fan of the Yakuza series, don't watch this. You're just gonna be upset. It was just that bad. everything about it was bad. It wasn't Madam Web levels of bad, but it was just very poorly executed, man. Big disappointment. I was really hyped for it too, because I thought, it's grounded. It's a grounded, unspectacular, you know, um, basically Yakuza
It's different
flick.
when you have expectations for something.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, in this day and age of adaptations of video games becoming movies more often now, I think we're going to be more disappointed than, who knows? But yeah, that's my list.
So you had the Dookie Squire, Suckin' Blones, and your Snooza live action.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You gave him the best ones.
Yeah.
I would have
Literally.
loved to hear Aaron's if he watched it, because I know he's a big Yakuza fan. I would love to see his.
Oh, I imagine
His
he
take
would
on it.
hate it because I think he
Yeah.
likes the kooky shit, and apparently it has none of the kooky shit, right?
No, man, they don't
Avoid
even
kooky shit, yeah.
like give you like any kind of fan service in that respect. It's just boring, dude. Absolutely dull, that adventure.
All right, I guess that leaves me. I should have wrote puns for all mine ahead of time. I'll get them in post maybe, but or as we discuss the final five.
We'll get you.
We'll get you.
We'll help you out.
So my number 5 is I just don't get. I saw the TV glow. I just don't get it, man. I really wanted to like that movie a lot. I think it meant a lot to like some people or a lot of people. It's very like well reviewed critically. It trailered amazing. I thought that like it looked. I was like, I really like Justice Smith. And I could not vibe. Like I was watching that movie the whole time being like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get into this. This is cool. There's some cool stuff on screen here. There's some interesting images. And then I just left it like, I just don't get it, man. I don't get what happened. I watched an hour and a half movie that I left feeling nothing about. Other than disappointed, I suppose. So, a little bit disappointed in myself for not, I guess, being smart enough or tuned in enough to like that culture, that like time in TV and stuff that it's like trying to get into. I don't know. Someone explain it to me, I suppose.
So you saw the TV blow. You saw.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we've used blow a few times already, but that's
we got to keep doing it. Yeah. Yeah, you just got
placeholder.
You got to do it. Yeah, you got to do it. Thank you, Mike. My number 4 is Star Wars: The Acolyte is canceled. I thought that season was not perfect. It was not amongst my favorite shows of the year. It was fine, I would say, but I mentioned it won. One of the scenes in it was one of my favorite scenes, probably in a Star Wars anything. There were some interesting characters. I like the setting, the time frame where it's not the Skywalker saga. I liked a lot about Star Wars: The Acolyte, and I feel like it deserved at least like a second season to finish off whatever it set up. We see Dark Plagueis in this, which is like a character I want to like see. He's only been mentioned, and like Kayla's brother Larry talks about Darth Plagueis all the time. He's apparently like super cool in the like novels and shit like that, the expanded universe. We get a cool ass glimpse. He looked like a cool fucking dude in a cave, and we will never see him again, maybe. Yeah, Star Wars: The Acolyte got the Axolite. Have we got anything there? Anything there?
Disney, bring back a light. The Acolyte.
Thank you. Disney, bring back a light.
oh God.
Yo, Tammy.
The Acolyte. That's thank you. That's good. That's good, clean fun there. I don't know if this is the same. I don't. I'm not as disappointed as Mike. Obviously, I didn't get kicked in the Penix, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth does too much. That I think that game,
and then it doesn't do anything.
I think in every sense of the word, it just does too much. It is set up for so much success. There's a wonderful battle system, great characters, iconic characters that people care about, or even if you've never met these characters, they are lively and there's a big cast and they're funny and there's so much going right for this game. It looks good. It plays really good in like what you're doing primarily, the fighting and everything else. It captures so much of like an iconic game that people care about and I care about to some extent. The music, everything. But then it's so fucking overstuffed. It's overstuffed in its side quest. It's overstuffed in its just fucking nonsense. Like story beats that you just did not need whatsoever. Like Remake was a nice little addition to the Final Fantasy story. Like it took a section that was in that initial game that was like 5 hours and turned it into 20 hours. Like if you kind of mainlined it. This took a section that was like maybe 20 hours and turned it into like easily you could spend 150 or whatever if you wanted to engage in all the just nonsense side stuff and 100%. And it didn't need that. It's got a great story, a great cast of characters, great music, a rabid fan base who just want to like be in that world and be with those people and stuff. And you just added the bullshit. You just had to add the bullshit. And so that's what I was disappointed in, that I could have loved Rebirth, and I really like Remake, and I wanted to love Rebirth, and I just didn't. I did not.
Did you finish it?
Oh yeah, I did.
What was there to love?
I mean, I dug the
just
music.
The gang being around?
Love being with the gang. I remember as soon as we finished it, or like a week after we finished it, I like saying, man, Kayla, like, don't you want to be back with Cloud and the gang? And we were both like, yeah.
What's up with Cloud?
Yeah, what's up with Cloud and the gang? And I would have loved a 20-hour to 30-hour Cloud and the gang, like, game that just follows that story, lets me engage with that cool battle system and everything else. I didn't hate like Aerith as much as you did. I you know, like, yeah, she moves like shit, but she was a great healer for me. Like I put her in every party because she was like I just put her on auto heal and she was my like white mage, whatever else. I like the final battle.
Standard.
It like just the flying through. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'll that, but
Me
like,
neither.
But it just felt it felt like they were going for like an Avengers like team up. Like, oh, now I'm Cloud and Zack, and now I'm this, and now I'm fighting Sephiroth, now I'm fighting Genova, and now Aerith is somehow still alive, and it's all fucking nonsense. But it worked for me, at least from like a visual and gameplay standpoint. But then I just left my like so hollow of like, what is going on with Cloud, Aerith, these timelines, all this? You're just you said it. It's turning into Kingdom Hearts or whatever, and I don't know. Keep your Kingdom Hearts out of my Final Fantasy. You know.
I agree. They took some liberties with it that I didn't really agree with, and I was like, why do we need to convolute it for? Like, you already had the story. It worked. It is great, and we'll see what happens with it. But I agree with a lot of the substance you meant. Being with the crew is most enjoyable for that game. The music was absolutely probably one of the biggest highlights for me too. But yeah, too stuffed. That's great. Too many cooks in the kitchen for it.
Yeah.
And those maps, they just get worse and worse. By the time you're trying to navigate this jungle, the fucking weird Chocobo desert, how do I get to that? How do I navigate all this dumb wind tunnel bullshit I gotta do? I fucking hate that game. God, it sucks so bad. The combat's like, it just becomes like, especially in the last boss fight, like, okay, I just have to wait for the big dumb wall with a face or whatever the fuck that is to like be its barrier to go down or some shit like that. Or I didn't have wind in this boss fight, so let's back out and get wind, and then everybody just hits it with wind, and eventually it's dead. And I don't know. I felt like none of the bosses were like as clever as some of the stuff you had to do in remake. And man, this is just them just being like caught between a rock and a hard place of like, we have to do this. We have to finish it now. We have to make every part of this a full blown adventure when that game's not cut up. You can't just cut that game into 3 parts and make them into 3 great games. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And fuck them, just fuck 'em.
Eric, I got it. I got it for you.
Ooh.
Final Fan Service 7.
That's good. That's very good.
Phoenix.
Penis.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's good. Final Fan
Final
Service
Fan
7.
Service 7. Penis.
Yeah. What am I on? I'm on number 2. Oh, yeah, this one broke my heart. The Prince of Persia studio was folded. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. You might be hearing about it later on in the NOTYs. But yeah, they apparently this game didn't sell well, or at least to like Ubisoft's crazy like needs to make money, because they don't make any money anymore, and they folded the studio that made like one of the coolest Metroidvanias ever. I just like, that game is fucking dope, and they didn't deserve that. I think people lost their jobs, and I think like this project was supposed to be like gonna have some expansions and stuff, and yeah, they're just like they're done. And so criminally underplayed apparently. Y'all should go out and play The Lost Crown. It's real good. Yeah, you got a pun for that downer, huh guys?
It's there was such great word of mouth. It had such great showings like the year before that, like at Summer Game Fest and the TGAs. You only hear, I didn't get to finish it, but it just feels so good to be running and slicing and dashing. And if you could do that in a Metroidvania or search action, sorry, D, I'll include you too. And it just, it's a really hard space to compete in, because there's so many of those games coming out at all times. But that was one that should have stood out and should have been loved for sure. It's a bummer.
All right. Final one for me, number 1 on my list. I'm going to name you some things here. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, What We Do in the Shadows, Rings of Power, The Substance, and Challengers. These are all apparently great things that I didn't get to this year. So my backlog got quite big. So I put my neck, my back, log is getting whack. Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah, I did that while you were talking, Mike. So yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for vamping for me. It was. I mean, this is a weird year because there were, I think, very few just like knocked out of the park things overall. Mike said TV was a little down. Some of the biggest games we were kind of down on. So because of that, I feel like there was a really good distribution of kind of like good stuff, right? And I feel as though as that distribution happened, it just made me feel overwhelmed. I got to a lot of stuff. Me and Kayla saw a lot of movies, saw a lot of TV, played a lot of games, and it's just like, shit, there's other stuff that's probably about as good. Like I bet Kunitsugami is about as good as like games that I dug or whatever this year, or The Substance. I bet you it's pretty fucking good, but like just didn't get around it. So my backlog.
Challengers hurts. That hurt. I thought you guys caught that one.
It was kind of a Challengers or a Nora toss up one night, and we went with the Nora. So at least we know who Tauros is.
Fair.
All right. So we have 3 locks at this point, or we can. Well, we've got 3 bolded. I'll say right now. I threw them up at top. We've got Square Enix kicks Mike Square in the Penix. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater release date just as unfinished as Metal Gear Solid 5. And then Madame Web is a cinematic masterpiece, and D is disappointed to be wrong. So those are the 3 that we have right now that had a lot of support. What else? Final Fantasy VII is well represented on our list in multiple ways, so I think Mike, I think that's got to stay without a doubt. I think D made a great point for Madame Web as well. So I think right now those are like number 1 and 2 for me personally. I think we were all disappointed in Delta as well. That feels like we would have played that. We would have maybe made content around that, right? I feel like that's.
I just would have loved. Yeah, I would have loved to hear literally anything about that game at this point. Yeah. I just feel so teased.
It seems like every month they have more to say, but the release date. It's like, here's another trailer. Here's another little factoid. Here's, we're not redoing the music. We're not redoing VO. We're staying very faithful to the original, and when are we getting it? That's what we need to know.
Yeah,
it's a bummer.
It's like watching a chef in a kitchen, and you just like are waiting for you just want your plate. Please, it looks great. Everything you're doing looks great. I'm hungry now.
Yeah, I want to take a bite of the snake. I want to eat the snake.
It's the year of the snake, so maybe that is their plan all along, right?
Ooh,
gasp.
Nice.
Smart.
That makes sense.
Smart.
Rumors have been February, but February's coming.
Oh, wow, that's so soon. What the shit?
So
sure
we'll see.
The most excited out of all of us, obviously.
It'll be her first time. I don't know.
I do want it for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but
unironically.
right. I think that Mike and I kind of have a double up with the trap shalamalon, the trap shalam.
The sham-alons. Yeah.
Trap sucked. It's fucking sucked so bad.
That trailer was so good though.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The setup. You tell me the setup of that story, and I'm like, yeah, or that movie, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sounds so good.
Okay, we got trapped by Trap. I think I actually like Trap, but I guess I can't say that in this company right now.
Oh, so shame on you! Shame on you.
We're doing most disappointing right now. Okay.
What do you guys think? So I feel like both what was it? I think it was D and Mike kind of had some similar ones with so with D it was got the no Switch 2 blues, and then Mike said that Nintendo punted 2024. I feel like those are tied together. The fact that we don't have anything on Switch. If we did, it would make it feel a little better, right? About them punting, or we could kind of I don't know a little bit
just
more on Switch.
Like, it doesn't. It technically happened in 2025, but just for like a third-party accessory manufacturer to just kind of be the unveiling of the Switch 2 recently, like here it is, and Nintendo not saying it, like being so radio silent and just being so close to the vest about this it's really been silly. Not even just saying Switch 2, just saying the successor to the Switch. Like they're just some of their old habits and just old ways of doing things, man, they just suck. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a question for D about Borderlands.
Okay.
Whenever they get a vehicle, does something or someone say, "This is where cars live"? Get you
No.
one.
Not once.
Oh, put it up. Put it up. Put it on the board.
I'm telling, it's devoid. It's devoid of those fun little like they don't talk about the gun manufacturers except for like in like weird exposition lore dumps. Like it just feels so jaunted. You have Telltale Games, like that's a great like to if they parroted that, it would be better. Like
Soulless.
I don't know. It just lacked all that charm that Borderlands has that makes you want to keep playing.
I'd be fine with switching Borderlands for Trap because I actually like Trap, but you know.
Yeah, I like the Switch. Absolutely.
All right, we'll take a look at what it looks like here.
Oh no! I don't want to get rid of the Shamalama Ding Dong. We got Trap is bad.
Trap is fine with me too.
What about the Switch, or do we want to not have the Switch on the? We can have Borderlands and Trap on there. We got to keep Square Enix.
My disappointments feel well represented. I want to make sure everyone else can get their,
Yeah,
get the monkeys off their backs here
already. And I agree. Like the Trapped, like I mean, it seems like that was a majority.
I feel like that was a double
one.
up on Mike and I.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll put it. I got it at number.
So
4.
I think we got one spot we're trying to fill.
Yeah, so we got if we talk about filling the 5th spot, we got no Switch 2, we got Borderlands, the Poopy, the Mash Size Hole in Tomas, True Detective
I think
Night
we got to put
Country.
Lyra on 5. Yeah.
Just say hi to your guy is what I call that one. I could put that up there if we want.
I was a fan of
happened in 2024. I hear.
No, we don't have to.
Well, I also think that the Nintendo stuff was kind of like a double up.
It was, the No Switch 2 Blues, was definitely a double up. I think 3 of us.
If that's how we want to line it up.
So True Detective is only mid-eight country. I kind of felt that as well. I felt seen when you guys were talking about that. I'd sneak it at least closer to the top here. So we got like 5 things competing for the 5th spot, or 4 things competing for the 5th spot. Just Say Hi to Your Guy. Got the No Switch 2 Blues. True Detective Night Country is only mid-eight country. And Borderlands the movie, more like Borderblands the Poopy. It's hard to get through that one.
Adam.
Hard to get through that one. Just like the movie, am I right? What are we feeling? What do we Trapped by Trap was that we got that. That's locked in. I'm locking that one in. You guys made some Trapped art.
I thought the No Switch Blues was very strong.
I feel that one. I think it encompasses like that it was a tough year for Nintendo overall. Like the reason that we're not getting, or that we didn't get great stuff in 2024 was because they're doing some weird rollout with Switch 2 that we don't understand. And if they were just a little, just told us when it was coming out or something, like everything would probably feel better, I think, right?
Yeah.
Are those the 5? I'll read them off to you guys. Square Enix kicks Mike square in the penix. Madame Web is a cinematic masterpiece, and D is disappointed to be wrong. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater release date just as unfinished as Metal Gear Solid 5. We got trapped by Trap and got the no Switch to blues.
I like it.
We like it.
I like it.
Okay, all right,
All right.
man. Final Fantasy 7.
What a game.
Shit.
Can you even
What a little
actually call it that? Can you really call it Final Fantasy VII?
I don't know.
Well, it's Final Fantasy 7 2.5. What are the stupid Kingdom Hearts things that they do? Death by Sleep.
I was going to tell you, but you
4.8.
absolutely messed up. No.
All right.
Sephiroth over Tonberry King / 258. Yes.
Oh, that brings
I hate it here.
the Nonsense of the Year Awards Day 2 to a close. I will quickly recap what we had here. So in Best Character, we had Mr. Reed from Heretic winning with the runners-up Fighter D from Go Go Loser Ranger, Lady Mariko from Shogun, Dolores Price from Say Nothing, and Louis Squiaburn from Metaphor Refantasio. In the Best Moment, we had The Name's Gambit, Remember It from X-Men 97 as the best moment. Runners-up were Hiramatsu Seppuku from Shogun, Mirror Section from Neva, What Kind of American Are You from Civil War, and Fox Heroes Final Stand from Deadpool and Wolverine. Our final category of Day 2 was Most Disappointing, and we had Square Enix kicks Mike Square in the Penix as the number one most disappointing thing of 2024. The runners-up were Madame Web is a cinematic masterpiece, and D is disappointed to be wrong. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater release date just as unfinished as Metal Gear Solid 5. We got trapped by Trap and got the no Switch to blues. Love ending on
Those are
disappointments. That's the way to do it from now on. End on disappointments. Man, Day 2 was great. In Day 3, we will be going over the best TV shows, best movies, and best video games of 2024, not necessarily in that order. In fact, I think we had decided on a different order. So you gotta tune in to check it out. Thanks everyone for checking out this episode. Thank you for Tomas for not being here, and thank you to Josh Lyra for being a stand-up guy. Check us out all over social media. We're at The Machine of Nonsense. Let us know what we got right and what we got wrong. machineofnonsense@gmail.com is where you can drop us a line. Day 2 is complete of the Nonsense of the Year Awards 2024. Hope you had a blast. We are getting out of here, and we're saying goodbye.
Final Fantasy sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Damn.
Listen to the title, Square. Make that shit final. Get that shit out of here.
Hey now, you're a monster. Don't sue us. Yeah. California should just be underwater.
Fuck Ariel.
Men Fender's Men Symbol! So long!